and you're watching CTV on the Higher Learning Network.
The Female Solution Global Radio TV Show invites you to an invigorating conversation with our team of hosts Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Time. Start your week with Monday Morning Mindfulness with Zelda Speaks. Tuesdays, Self-Cell Care with Jody Susan. Wednesdays, Repairing Broken Families with Naima Latif and co-host Kareem Hamid. Thursdays, Soulful Solutions with Dr. Debbie Green. And Fridays, Health and Wellbeing with Beata. Saturdays, tune in 12 noon to 2 p.m. Central Time. First Saturday, Success Strategies with Jana. Second Saturday, Wendy Williams Esquire on relationships. Third Saturday, Move Around with Deborah. And fourth Saturday, Wisdom with Mama D. Join us Sundays, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time for Soul Purpose Healing with Beata. Call in and comment 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak to the host and be a part of the solution. The Female Solution Global Radio TV Show invites you to an invigorating conversation with our team of hosts Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Time. Start your week with Monday Morning Mindfulness with Zelda Speaks. Tuesdays, Self-Cell Care with Jody Susan. Wednesdays, Repairing Broken Families with Naima Latif and co-host Kareem Hamid. Thursdays, Soulful Solutions with Dr. Debbie Green. And Fridays, Health and Wellbeing with Beata. Saturdays, tune in 12 noon to 2 p.m. Central Time. First Saturday, Success Strategies with Jana. Second Saturday, Wendy Williams Esquire on relationships. Third Saturday, Move Around with Deborah. And fourth Saturday, Wisdom with Mama D. Join us Sundays, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time for Soul Purpose Healing with Beata. Call in and comment 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak to the host and be a part of the solution.
Are you stressed out? Are you ready to learn some quick techniques on how to de-stress immediately? Then book your free 30-minute consultation with Zelda Speaks, the Mindfulness Stress Relief Coach, at higherlearningnetwork.org. Thanks for sharing. Are you stressed out? Are you ready to learn some quick techniques on how to de-stress immediately? Then book your free 30-minute consultation with Zelda Speaks, the Mindfulness Stress Relief Coach, at higherlearningnetwork.org. Thanks for sharing. Are you stressed out? Are you ready to learn some quick techniques on how to de-stress immediately? Then book your free 30-minute consultation with Zelda Speaks, the Mindfulness Stress Relief Coach, at higherlearningnetwork.org. Thanks for sharing. Are you stressed out? Are you ready to learn some quick techniques on how to de-stress immediately? Then book your free 30-minute consultation with Zelda Speaks, the Mindfulness Stress Relief Coach, at higherlearningnetwork.org. Thanks for sharing.
Join me, Naima Latif, every morning, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Standard Time, as we bring you about the if you're listening online at www.
Are you stressed out? Are you ready to learn some quick techniques on how to de-stress immediately? Then book your free 30-minute consultation with Zelda Speaks, the Mindfulness Stress Relief Coach, at higherlearningnetwork.org. Thanks for sharing.
The Female Solution Global Radio TV Show invites you to an invigorating conversation with our team of hosts Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Time. Start your week with Monday Morning Mindfulness with Zelda Speaks. Tuesdays, Self-Care with Jody Susan. Wednesdays, Repairing Broken Families with Naima Latif and co-host Kareem Hamid. Thursdays, Soulful Solutions with Dr. Debbie Green. And Fridays, Health and Well-Being with Beata. Saturdays, tune in 12 noon to 2 p.m. Central Time. First Saturday, Success Strategies with Jana. Second Saturday, Wendy Williams Esquire on relationships. Third Saturday, Move Around with Deborah. And fourth Saturday, Wisdom with Mama D. Join us Tuesdays, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time for Soul Purpose Healing with Beata. Call in and comment 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak to the host and be a part of the solution.
In Kenya, Jambo, in Israel, Shalom, in Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Saudi Arabia, Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and may peace be with you. A struggle to get out of bed into the swing of things? Don't worry, you are not alone. Join us for thought-provoking, stimulating, and mindful conversations. How your Monday for your Monday morning mindfulness session on Blog Talk Radio. Mondays, 7:30 until 9 a.m. Be sure to send your ideas, thoughts, comments, and suggestions. Also, if you'd like to be a guest on the show, visit zeldaspeaks.com and send us your info. We'd love to have you. Experience mindfulness knowledge with the mindfulness/stress relief coach, Zelda Speaks. And thanks for sharing the mindfulness moments with us today. Stay on purpose, stay empowered. See you next session.
Problem. Grand Rising, and thank you so much for joining me this morning. I'm your host, Zelda Speaks. Welcome to Monday Morning Mindfulness. It is the 4th of July weekend, and the frog is still in my throat from the frog legs I ate. No, I'm just kidding. Ain't no frog legs. You know, this is the old thing. We get a frog. Look at that. Anyway, we're just here to start your week off with Monday Morning Mindfulness Stress Relief coming up at 7:15. And happy Earth Day, birthday, born day. If you're celebrating your natural day, some people say my salute, time around the sun. So whatever you say, happy Earth Day, birthday, born day to you. And always let us keep in mind those who are the sick and the shut-in, the incarcerated, the non-believers, and those who can't help themselves. So always keep in mind that whatever you're going through, somebody going through it times 2 or times 10. So you are not alone. I know they may not give you comfort, but it is what it is. So today's topic, NASCAR weekend street races. How did this Independence Day weekend benefit Chicago? Or is it just the Chicago politicians? I'm just saying. We'll talk about that. So if you're listening online, you can join the conversation at 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak after the 7:30 break. If you're watching us on our social media channels, it is facebook.com and Higher Learning TV show. I don't know what we're going to do with this frog that's in my throat this morning, but we're going to have to do something with it because it's getting on my nerves. And, oh, Lord have mercy, I am sweating bricks because it is so, it's hot already. You see me sweating already? Yeah, it is sweating already. Yeah, that's what I do. And of course, the tea helps, brings up all the mucus and all other stuff. So that's where I'm at this morning. And if you are headed out and about, yesterday, did you see the flood? Of course you saw it. If you're living in Chicago, I am so glad I did not walk out that door.
because I had a family event that I didn't make. And I'm so glad. I'm looking at the news and the expressways are flooded. You know, anytime you get a flash flood warning drop from a news alert, the city of Chicago, you might want to listen to it. So I listened to it. I'm glad I did, because Tony went out earlier and he came back and he was soaked. He was drenched. And he had on weather gear. He's like, you might want to not go out today. And I was like, I might not want to listen to you. But after I sat and I saw him pull up all that wood stuff, and then I saw TV and I was like, I went downstairs and looked out the window and I saw it. You couldn't see it right in front. You couldn't see a person. I mean, there was nothing. I couldn't see. So it was like, where you going to drive to? So I couldn't go. That's my story. Anyway, traffic and weather today is brought to you by Karen Kelly of itex.com. If you are a business owner or an entrepreneur and you are in need of services or products, anything that you need from the big box stores, Walmart, Kmart, any of them, Jules, Mariano's, well, not food, but catering, anything that you need, itex has it. And all you have to do is sign up and use my name as a code, Zelda, Zelda. You get $100 to go shopping immediately. So be sure and tell them Zelda sent you, okay? As we prepare for your traffic and weather. Not so bad out today. It has been worse, but it's the holiday weekend, so you can expect a little less traffic than ever. I should say Chicago weather today, 85 degrees, 70 by the lakefront. Hot and humid all the way up to 90 today. But the traffic is another story because due to the storm in Holman Square, Chatham East, there was flooding, and also on the Ike and Kennedy expressways flooded. So yeah, if you weren't out there, you didn't have to be. Don't be. Cleaning up begins after the amazing flood of NASCAR. Just, it's a hot mess outside. Even though it's a holiday, you might want to pass up going through the expressways. I mean, Lakeshore Drive. 65 degrees right now, 91 tomorrow, hot and muggy for the 4th of July. Yes, it's going to be beautiful. On CT and Metro today is no reported delays, but inbound on the Kennedy is only 17 minutes. Can you believe that? 16 on the outbound, 22 on the Edens in both directions. On the Ike, it's only 25. It's never been 25 unless it's 4 o'clock in the morning. 24 on the outbound. On the Stevenson, 16 in. 15 on the outbound. On the Dan Ryan, 11 in, and 9 on the reverse. On the I-57 Bishop Ford, there's a crash at Torrance Avenue, which has been cleared up. 10 minutes in and 10 on the reverse. And due south on Lakeshore Drive, it is 10 minutes in both directions. And extra traffic and weather, sponsored by Karen Kelly of itex.com. And I want to thank you for joining me this morning. And if you could type in the area, in the comments area, what city, state, or country you are calling from. Oh, excuse me. And we will share that. You can share that with me, I should say. But right now, I want to do a little Monday morning mindfulness meditation and have you join in that meditation because, if you don't take the time to get quiet and go within, see, that's where your strength is. But they always want to keep us occupied with TV, radio, music. And there's nothing wrong with it. But spend some time with self first so that you can empower yourself. As Dr. Maya Angelou would say, before you face the day, face the spirit of the Creator that is within you. Dr. Maya Angelou says, before you face the day, face the God that is within you. So my understanding of that is to go within and honor that which gave you breath this morning to breathe. Because if you were not supposed to be here, you would not be here breathing. You would have made your transition to the next level, wherever that is, 4D, 5D, 6D, 7D, 10D. I don't know. I'm still learning too. So, in saying that, when you don't empower yourself, you will be rattled very easily. People will piss you off at the drop of a hat. How do I know? Saying what I heard, this is what I know. So that's why we take this time. And I invite you to prepare yourself this morning for this experience, because it's an experience. If you want something different, you got to do something not different, but something outrageous. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to spend some time with self and use the power of affirmations. Affirmations are tools for changing consciousness. What do you mean by that, though? Changing consciousness? Enhancing the way that you think. Because the way that we have been trained to think in this westernized society, we don't even take into consideration Eastern philosophy or other philosophies that allow us the opportunity to go within and find out things about ourselves, because we've been so conditioned through religion and programming of the airwaves. So anytime someone gives us something new or different, we are hesitant, because that training that we have had since birth is indoctrinated in us. And I look back over my past years and I'm thinking to myself, wow, I was always talking about one of them. I am one of them. I am them, because I realize I've been indoctrinated too. It doesn't matter how much I know or how much I think I know. When I wrote my first book in 1997, The Passion Principles, Pathways to Purpose, Power, and Profit, I was shocked when I found out that I'm going through the process of getting my books in the library, right? And I go to find out, I go to Chicago Public Library, and the librarian told me what to do, pull it out and see what section of self-help. The book is a self-help book. I go to find out what section in the library it's in, and guess what it's under? You will not believe this. OCCULT, occult. Now, we have been conditioned that if it is an occult book or an occult experience, then look, stay away from that. You don't want to do that. And then it dawned on me, they don't want you to know what I know, what has been revealed to me when I get quiet, when I sit down and I do my deep breathing. They don't want you to know that. And I was like, these mother Fletchers, these mother flowers. And I said, no, baby, you can't be mad at them. That's the system. This is who they are. This is what they do. And here you come with your little bit of knowledge, trying to change the way people think, trying to enhance people's lives. No, you can't be doing that. We got to keep them programmed. We got to keep them dumbed down. We got to keep them spending, not investing in self. We got to keep them shopping. So they didn't want you to do that. So they put the book in occult, OCCULT. Look it up. Don't believe me. The Passion Principles. Look it up and see what it's listed at. I was like, okay, I'm pissed off, but you don't get pissed off. So what you do is you take that energy and use that energy. So I took that energy and wrote another book, and another book, and another book, and another book. And I self-published them because they would not publish them. And I am very grateful that they did not publish, because they probably would have hid it somewhere and put me on the back burner. But in the 90s, self-publishing was becoming but it was just gaining momentum. And I was in on the forefront of that. So I'm very glad to be able to share this information with you, so that when you write your book, I said write your book, because you have a story and you've been putting it off forever and a day. How do I know? Because I procrastinate just like everybody else. As Iyanla Vanzant would say, until today. Because today is another day. That's what I love about holidays. While everybody is out holidaying, I'm doing something different. I give kudos to Mary Mitchell, a columnist for the Chicago Sun-Times, who was one of the stories in my book. Lots of stories in the book about a lot of different people in the city of Chicago, especially my coworkers from WGCI radio back in the day. They were like my experiment, because I didn't know what I was doing. I knew how to write, but I didn't know what I was doing, but I did it anyway, and it became a book. But I said all that to say this. Spending time with self is in the quiet and doing deep breathing is what will help you move to the next level, to move out of 3D, which is blame and shame. And they did that, and I'm better because I do this, to move out of that realm of being and into a consciousness of there's only one race, that's the human race. There's no black, there's no white, because in the Western society, it's all about green. It ain't the color you think it is, baby. It's about the green. It's about the money, the moolah, the coins, whatever you want to call it. That's what it's about. So I said all that to say this. If you want to have an experience that will allow you to tap into your higher self, this is it. It's all about the breathing. So let's get ready to breathe. And there's different kind of breathings too. See, I'm still learning just like you are. And I saw a doctor doing a specialized kind of breathing. And I was like, oh, okay. I got to try that on my Monday morning mindfulness, but not today because I haven't perfected the technique. And I don't want to try something on you that I'm not confident with myself. So I got a little homework to do. But I've done the homework on this one. So this one we can do together right here, right now. So let's do it. As my little nieces and nephews said, let's do it fluid. I know that's old school, but I'm old school. What can I say? Glad to be old, honey, because somebody didn't wake up this morning. All right, y'all, let's do it. So what we're going to do is just simply breathe. But we're going to breathe in such a way that we're going to wake up parts of the body that have been asleep all night because you're sitting on that mucus. And Dr. Sabi says mucus is the only disease there is. The others are just offshoots of the disease of what's going on in the body. So, and you can see I got a lot going on in my body this morning. That's why I'm drinking this tea, because you lay still all night, you know, that mucus builds up. So I want to share with you this time. So let us begin the process of breathing. Simply close your eyes. You should not be looking at me, but the inside of your eyelids. So close your eyes. And just begin the process of breathing. Breathing through your nose. Eyes closed. Like the birds? I love the birds. You simply breathe in and breathe out. And I want you to breathe so deep that you feel your chest and your diaphragm move in and out. You want to feel that body movement. That's the experience. You cannot have this experience by going, no, you gotta, yeah, feel that chest expand and then blow it out. Oh, that one breath. Oh. If you did it right, you will feel it immediately, and it feels so good. Come on now, work with me. Try it. Come on, let's go. Here we go. Oh yes, and exhale. Thank you. Just say thank you, universe, creator, Allah, Buddha, whatever you choose to call it, Jesus, Jehovah, Jireh. Thank you for the breath of life this morning, because if I am breathing, that means I still have work to do. You've got a plan for me, and I'm most grateful. As we breathe in, and breathe out. And when you breathe out, feel free to make a sound to release the tension of the energy. I hold my energy here, so I got to remember to let it out and say it too. Inhale deeply. Hold it. And exhale. And this time when we breathe, let's bring those arms up. Inhale deeply. Hold it. And exhale. Just enjoying the sensations of the breath as we inhale deeply. Bring those hands up. And bring them down. And exhale. Once more, inhale, bring those hands up. And turn to the side if you can. And feel the stretch. So your organs on the inside of your body, blow it out. So your organs have feel a little stretch this morning. And then turn to the other side. And stretch over there too. Oh yeah, that's Nothing like a good stretch to wake up the pancreas and the kidney and the bladder and the digestive system, all that good stuff. Yeah, rotate those shoulders backwards and forwards. Get that fluid in the body moving. We don't want it stagnant because stagnant fluid causes what? Dis-ease. That's what Dr. CB says. That's why he's no longer here. One of the reasons, because he's giving us information they don't want us to know. That's why we breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Once more, breathe in and breathe out. Now continue breathing in and breathing out, and just know that from time to time your mind will wander, and that's okay. That's what the mind does. But when you hear this sound, you take a deeper breath and focus on the breath, because it is the breath that allows you to have this experience. As we breathe in and as we breathe out. As we breathe in and as we breathe out. The bell is simply reminding to keep breathing. Inhale deeply, giving thanks that we are at the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. And breathing is always the right thing. As we breathe in and as we breathe out, we give thanks for the power of the breath, because someone somewhere is unable to breathe on their own. Let's take a long, deep breath on that one. Someone somewhere has a trachea in their throat. And look at you, breathing all on your own. God is good all the time. All the time, God is good. As we inhale deeply, giving thanks that as our mind has a tendency to wander, we refocus and bring it back to the breath. As we breathe in and we let it out. Just breathing in and breathing out gives you the connection to the highest part of yourself. The part of you that is confident and that knows everything about you. That knows the answers to all of your questions. And the way to get those answers is by the breath. As we breathe in and as we breathe out. Simply breathing in and breathing out. Let's breathe in together. Breathe in. Hold it. And as we breathe in, let us take that breath all the way up to the top of the head and feel the energy coming down through the forehead and the face and the chin and settling on the shoulders as we rotate those shoulders backwards and forwards, because we always want to be moving as much as possible, especially if we're seniors, because we have a tendency to sit all day, and when we sit all day, we become stagnant, and we don't want that. Had an 88-year-old lady at the gym tell me, baby, a body in motion stays in motion. And a body that doesn't move, not a good thing. So you want to keep that body moving as much as possible. As we breathe in, bringing that energy from the breath down through the shoulders and the arms as we stretch and as we move and do the higher learning hip roll as we continue to breathe in. And as we continue to breathe out. Let's breathe in together. And as we breathe out, continue bringing the breath down through the solar plexus and the chest and the sides and the back and the buttocks as we continue to breathe in. And breathe out, sending love, light, and energy down through the hips and the thighs and the knees and the yes, oh yes, those glorious knees keep us moving. as we send love, light, and energy down through the legs and the ankles and the arches as we breathe in. And as we breathe out, sending more love, light, and energy down through the toes and the top and the bottom of the feet. Feel free to wiggle those toes as we breathe in. Bringing love, light, and energy back up through the legs and the knees and the thighs and the buttocks and the back. As we continue with the higher learning hip roll, just moving from side to side, just a little movement. You have to run a marathon, you just have to move, baby, that's all. Because sitting is the new smoking. You know, back in the day, smoking was a health hazard, still is. But sitting at computers all day, not good. I had back problems because of it. I used to sit at a computer 8 hours a day. And my chiropractor said, no, baby, you can't do that. You got to get up every hour. Set a timer on your phone and get up, go to the bathroom, go get some water, get a drink of water, get some juice, go make a phone call, go get you something, do something, but don't sit at that computer all day. Okay, so just move. If you don't do nothing, get up, walk around for 2 minutes and come back to your computer. Do that. It's for you. It's for your benefit as we breathe in. Bringing that energy back up through the solar plexus and the arms as we stretch them out, giving thanks for the power of movement this morning. Let's shake it up, shake it down, shake it all the way around. Yeah, baby, move. The body was made to move. So let's take one long, last, deep inhale deeply. And exhale. Once more, inhale deeply. And as you exhale, bring your chin to your chest and slowly rotate the head to the left and bring it around to the back and around to the right and back to the front. Head up, inhale deeply. And as you exhale, bring the head back down, chin to chest, and slowly rotate the head to the right. And slowly bring it around to the back. Slow down, moving too fast. There you go. Slowly bring it around to the left and back around to the front. Inhale deeply. And look to the left as far as you possibly can, feeling a stretch in the right side of the neck. As you exhale. Inhale. And turning your head to the right as far as you possibly can. Feeling a stretch in the left side of the neck. And bringing your head back around. Let's inhale once more. And exhale. Now, this is something that you can try on your own, in your own time, in your own home, wherever you are. And just know that this is an experience that will take you to the next level. Because if you do this with headphones on and some water in the background, I'm going to have a sister on Zen Wombs pretty soon, and she's going to tell you all about the water training and how it can help you get to the next phase of your existence. I digress. I do that sometimes. But my point is, breathing is the new experience. And if you want to have an experience, just simply breathe. But there's a special way you got to breathe. So just remember to do the things that I taught you doing this. And when your mind tends to wander, find you a chime or something so that you can refocus those thoughts and do your deep breathing. And have an experience unlike any other. It doesn't cost you a dime. You don't have to go anywhere. All you have to do is just breathe and listen. And sometimes during the course of the day, I like to do it when I get off the air. So go sit in my chair. I got a massage chair. I got a Craigslist for $50. Okay. I put my earbuds, not my earbuds, well, same thing, but they're not buds because that's another 5G thing you don't want to go in your brain. Anyway, I digress. I use my wired earphones and I listen to this Zen Wombs meditation. Baby, it just takes me to another place. I wake up and feel like I've been to a party. My body at a party. I'm just so calm, cool, calm, and relaxed. Okay, what you do? It's not going to faze me one way or the other. Okay, I digress, but I just want to share that with you. So I hope this has been very meaningful for you today, because if you want that kind of experience, you have to have that kind of experience with yourself before you can experience with others. And I am so happy, elated to just to be able to share this with you, because you can share it with somebody else. So this is that something that you can do when you in times of chaos and confusion, and when you are confronted with a situation or a person that is combative or disagreeing with you. You simply start breathing. You just breathe in. And when you do that, they're going to look at it. Oh my God, what's wrong with it? And then you blow it out. And if you got a little funk on your breath, like you forgot to brush your teeth, or you had some onions or garlic or something, I promise you, they'll step back out of your space and leave you alone. So rock with that. I promise you. It works if you work. And those are the words of Dr. Johnny Coleman from Christ Universal Temple. No longer with us, but her teachings are here. And I am here to share with you this morning what I have been blessed with. And this is what we do here on the Female Solution. Excuse me. We meditate to activate. And that's just a few of my favorite ones. We inhale faith and exhale fear. And I love this one too. Inhale genius and exhale doubt. See, the fashion industry knows a few things that we don't know. And that is, what you see is what you say. And what you say is what you be. You are not Gucci. You are not Ralph Lauren. You are not Karen Klein. You are not any of those. And these people could care less about you. So it is important that you wear who you are and what you are. And if you are of a mindset that will help you get out of debt, oh, baby, inhale wealth. Somebody better say that. Exhale debt. All right. Well, you can go to our website and you can see that information there on the HearLearningNetwork.org. Forgot to bring that up, and I am bringing that up right now so that you can see it, and you can go there and you can tap on HigherLearningNetwork.org. Let me pull myself down here. And when you see the homepage, you can see this is all our social media: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, which I want to talk to you about right now. But when you go down to the page, you'll see all of that information there. Oh, and if you'd like to contact us during the week, just go to HigherLearningNetwork.org and send information. If you need information or anything like that, just go there. But I wanted to show you the where the t-shirts are under resources. So you just click on resources. I'm clicking there. And you can donate via PayPal or any of those. All these t-shirts are tax deductible, and it helps with the Global Virtual Teen Talent Contest and our homeless project. And if you don't know about our homeless project, you will know about it now, because I'm about to show it to you. This is our Instagram page, which is, there it is. Why is it not going there? I don't know. But there it is. And we'll be out there today too, now that it's not so crazy. Anyway, just wanted to share that with you. And I will pull it up a little later because it is not doing what it needs to do. Okay, Instagram, where are you? There you are. Alrighty. For those of you all who know that there are a lot of homeless people in the city of Chicago, and my little brother's one of them. Well, was one of them. He was murdered in Tent City, which is why we do what we do for the homeless. We use the funds that we raise here on the show and on the Higher Learning Network TV show, and we go and get them things that they need: water, butane, all that kind of stuff. So just go to the page and you'll see it there. But I just had to share that with you. But right now I need to share with you a few comments from you. And those comments say, Grand Rising to you this morning, Mama Joy. Thank you for this meditation. Yes, a body in motion stays in motion. Yes, ma'am, honey. I'm learning that. And you never could have told me a million years that I would be getting up, going to the gym or walking outside. But honey, I do it now because my body said, you need to move, baby. You need to move. You've been laying in this bed too long. That's right. It works if you work. Thank you, Mama Joy. Appreciate you. Mama Joy comes on. I think it's the last Saturday. Mama Joy, type in when your show comes in, because I'm a seasoned citizen. I sometimes forget. But anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. It is now time for our brother Lionel Abdul Haq to be joining us shortly after the break. So just bear with me here, and I will find this promo. Here it is, and we'll be right back. Stay close.
About finances, family, health, job, relationships. Are you in pain? Do you feel stuck? If you answer yes to any of these questions, help is available. Don't worry, you're not alone. It's part of the human process. We only feel this way because we haven't mastered the voices in your head. No hype, just down to earth, solid, workable tools and techniques that you can practice daily. It's really food for the soul. Whether you want to learn how not to worry about anything, reverse type 2 diabetes, publish a book, promote your product or service, or just make extra money. Take advantage of the deal of the day. Go to zeldaspeaks.com or call 312-409-6619. Mention promo code The Female Solution and get free shipping. That's zeldaspeaks.com or 312-409-6619. Stop worrying today. Visit zeldaspeaks.com. What if you could live to be 120 years old and remain active, healthy, alert, and vibrant? Our bodies are made up of cells that are constantly rejuvenating. So if we take proper care of ourselves, we can literally defy aging. Join us every Tuesday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time to learn about self-care from Susan Essentials on the Female Solution Blog Talk Radio Show. Learn how to help your body and yourself feel rejuvenated each day through proper nutrition, sleep, frequency medicine, and many unconventional methods of self-care. I'm Jody Susan. Join me and my amazing guests by calling in at 515-605-9325 and press 1 to speak. We'll help you achieve a breakthrough in your health today. Is Monday morning a struggle to get out of bed into the swing of things? Don't worry, you are not alone. Join us for thought-provoking, stimulating, and mindful conversations on how your morning will go to your Monday morning mindfulness session on Blog Talk Radio. Mondays, 7:30 to 9 a.m. Be sure to send your ideas, thoughts, comments, and suggestions. Also, if you'd like to be a guest on the show, visit zeldaspeaks.com and send us your info. We'd love to have you. Experience mindfulness moments with the mindfulness coach, Zelda Speaks. And thanks for sharing the mindfulness moments with us today. Stay on purpose, stay empowered. Stay tuned to the next session of mindfulness on higher learning with Zelda Speaks. Make it a mindful day. Thanks for listening.
Grand Rising, and thank you for joining us back here on The Female Solution. I'm your host, Zelda Speaks. We'll be joined by my co-host, Lionel Abdul Haq of Community Cultivations. But first, I want to give a shout out to my girl, Vieta Robinson, my sister from another mister. Grand Rising Queen, breathing with you as always. Thank you so much. Shalom, my sister. And if you did not see last night's show, shame on you. Well, I'm sorry, not shame on you. We have these weekly talks every week, and we're always talking about blame and shame, getting out of the same motion. So not shame on you, but it would benefit you to go back and see last night's show on The Female Solution. How about that? Oh, and you can see the video on Viata's tiny house. So go to YouTube and type in Viata's tiny house. And that's what I like about Sunday nights. I digress. I just go there sometimes. Sometimes you just have to reinforce what you know. So thank you for that show, Viata. And thank you for having the guest. And Eckhart Tolle. Oh my goodness. Just go see the show. I just got to say that. Okay, please go see the show. You'll be glad you did. Thank me later. 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak if you're joining the conversation right now, but not right now. Right now, we're going to the phone lines, and we are talking with, bringing on our very own co-host, Brother Lionel Abdul Haq of Community Cultivations, as we discuss NASCAR weekend street races. How did this Independence Day weekend even benefit Chicago? Lionel Abdul Haq, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Good to be with you, and Grand Rising, and hello to everybody out there. Thank you for joining me once again, and appreciate the opportunity.
Grand Rising. We always appreciate the opportunity of having you on with us, because we know that we will always get a different kind of overstanding today. Vieta says you can watch last night's show on Facebook Live, Soul Purpose Healing. Thank you, Vieta. YouTube, remove last night's show for violation of rules. No, you were speaking too many truths. That's why they took that down. Let's tell the truth. But we'll get to that in a moment. But thank you so much, Lionel Abdul Haq, for bringing some light, shedding some light on what's going on this holiday. Because every time I think about it, I think about how the 4th of July got started. Anyway, but I digress. So go right ahead, my brother. Bring it on home.
Well, I think that in the context of all of the celebrations and observances that we celebrate in the modern world here in America, most of them have been decoupled from the fundamental ideals that they say that they represent. And it's just like the concept of freedom and independence. We've been misled, bamboozled, run amok and led astray to the point where we associate those ideas with a kind of rebellious, defiant attitude against conforming to any standard or any discipline. And that, coupled with the idea of fun and the idea that associates having fun with living, is what life is all about. That the experience of having fun, the sensation of fun, makes you feel alive. Makes you aware of the fact that you are alive because you feel the sensation or the thrill of life. And so these are very childish, immature, dangerous ideas that have contributed to the out of control violence. And we want to express our condolences and to the people who've been killed in Baltimore and other places with these mass shootings that's been going on. And it seems to be increasing, the speed of the whirlpool that goes down the toilet. It's just picking up more and more speed, flushing out what is really at the root of our problem. It is the childish, immature concept of life, imitation of life. It's not real life, it's an imitation of life. It's an illusion. It's a fantasy that we've been given over to as what we think life is all about. And it's not, and this is the programming that we've been trying to emphasize and illustrate as our number one enemy to our getting ourselves together. And it is the programming that comes from mass media, movies, music, television, and the internet.
Yes, sir. And it,
So, there's a phrase that they're using. I've been seeing a lot lately in the advertising, on the streets and so forth. On the bus stops, they got these advertising symbols about different things that they promote. And they've got one that's been said or promoted a lot called "Love It and Live It," and live it. Love it and live it. Where they used to, and it's talking about American way of life, American citizenship, or the ideals of freedom that we identify with. We should love it and live it. Well, I've been thinking about that in the context of this whole conversation about NASCAR and football, basketball, hockey, this environment of sport play that we, and the fireworks, of course, that we're getting ready to let off tomorrow, and they already started. This is all about taking something dangerous and making a joke out of it. Taking something that is serious and making it clickbait. And life is not just about having fun, and we have to recognize, as the young people say, that we've been misled with these kinds of ideas, that this has become so pervasive, the idea of having fun, that we would bring a dangerous situation of a NASCAR race with people speeding at high rates of speed. People got to sign a waiver saying that if you get killed while you're in there, that's possible.
Yes.
This is all in the name of fun and generating in the heartland of America for the very first time this sensation-oriented fun event that I think a lot. We had the rain that we did yesterday and the day before, because it helped to clean some of the air. And all of that pollution from the high speed racing, these high fumes that was coming through our atmosphere. I'm glad Allah sent a cleansing rain.
Yeah, okay.
Help us to get through that last couple of days.
Yes, sir. You are right on target. When you said what you just said about signing a waiver, Naima, executive producer of the Female Solution, and John, got John's last name. He's a photographer for Operation Push and all the city games, yada yada. They both had to sign waivers, and when she told me that they could not sue if they got hurt, I'm like, what kind of nonsense is that? You a journalist out covering the event for the city of Chicago. You got press credentials, and if you get hurt, you SOL. I'm like, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but that's the way it is.
So when you think about the idea of cognitive dissonance that has been cultivated through fantasy and illusion, magic, never want to grow up mentality has become a pervasive social norm. And this is the foundation of insanity. We've talked about it before, how the character of American citizens, the life that they want us to live, and if they love it or live it, and love it and live it. They want to, if you're not an American, if you're not a fun-loving person, if you're not a person who gives yourself over to moments and periods, ideas that are counterproductive, reflective of a total undisciplined, unrestricted character, that in the name of fun, you will do virtually anything. And this is supposed to be what freedom is about. And this is the concept of freedom and independence that we supposedly celebrate in this country. Mm-hmm. And it is totally immature, backwards. It's like that Baby Huey character that we used to have see in the cartoon. With a great big old character with a big diaper on. And this is the reality that we have to wake up to if we want to solve the problems that are the consequence of that mentality.
And it's the consequences that we don't really know about until, excuse me, it happens.
But we see it happening every day. I mean, the violence, whoever it is that's doing these mass shootings that's riding through neighborhoods, particularly black neighborhoods, where they having parties, block parties and stuff, and creating situations of chaos, shooting people at random, and then nobody's getting caught. There's nobody's been identified and arrested in most of these cases. They just hit and run, called drive-by. But we've been conditioned with this drive-by mentality to think that it's all just somebody, just teenagers acting a fool. But that's not necessarily the case. And we have to get real. We have to get serious if we're going to solve these problems. And having the mentality that we got to have, that life is about having fun, is counterproductive to that. In fact, it is the seed from which these crazy behaviors, these violent behaviors, that are fun to the people who are doing it.
Right. Well, of course.
You know, it's a fun thing to be able to create that kind of chaos. They like that. They get off on that.
Yeah.
And it is dangerous, and it's all based on the fun mentality.
Well, you are not alone, Ty Hartfield. He says he really didn't care about NASCAR. I know I didn't. It's like whatever's I'm gonna see. I can see it on TV. I really don't need to be down there to put myself in harm's way. Vieta Robinson says we can thank Hollywood and violent TV shows for the violence in our communities. Yes, because we sit right there in front of them and watch it. Day in, day out. Did you see such and such a movie where such and such did such and such? Yeah, we've been programmed. Exactly. So thank you for sharing that.
It's a critical point.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yes.
A very critical point. You reap what you sow is fundamental divine guidance. That's morality 101. Teaches you that you will reap what you sow.
Yes, sir.
And if you see people out of control, if you see teenagers running through the streets, if you see mass shootings on a regular basis, this is not a good sign of where we are psychologically in this modern world, in this most powerful nation in the world. Supposedly, we're in bad shape, and we got to get real about it if we don't change. And you know, as long as I've been doing what I do in terms of pointing these things out and the connections between the programming that we receive and the behavior that we manifest. The fact that I have not received the kind of attention of what I do in terms of the focus of what community cultivation consultants is trying to address is further testimony that we ain't really for real when we say we're trying to solve these problems. Because it don't take a rocket scientist to figure it out.
No,
you got to be in a PhD.
Nope. No, you don't.
And if you really want to solve the problem, the people like myself who have been out here focusing on this issue from this perspective and developing programs to address this psychological malaise, should be foremost consultants in terms of how we should address these problems in shaping our public policy. But I haven't heard from nobody. And I understand. We ain't really trying to solve the problem.
No, we're just trying to fit in because that's what's easy and that's what's convenient for us. You know, it takes courage and it takes strength and it takes knowing who you are to step out from beyond that which you have been trained to do, to experience. And for those who just tuned in, Eugene Posey says, can you do a recap of what the show is about for those who just tuned in? For those who just tuned in, thank you, Eugene. We're talking about the effects of the Chicago NASCAR street races that took place over the past weekend. The NASCAR weekend street races, how did this Independence Day weekend benefit Chicago and Chicago residents? So we're still contemplating that. So as it relates to the conversation, as you can see, we have just been so conditioned to do what we're doing that we don't even take into consideration the repercussions. And that's what Brother Lionel Abdul Haq is sharing with us. Please continue, Lionel.
It's what we've been trying to do, trying to share since I've been on the air with you.
Mm-hmm.
Going on 5 years now.
Yes, sir. Oh, wow.
Already.
Has it?
And it's the idea that the so-called culture, the so-called culture has greatly undermined our perception of reality to the extent that the magic and illusion of Disney World and fantasy and magic are such pervasive ideas that are so loved, that is so much a part of who we are in our thinking, that it undermines our ability to be serious, to be disciplined, to be morally oriented people. People who have their roots, who have their behavior and their thinking rooted in moral judgments and principles. We have ours rooted in fun and foolishness, and that is the problem.
Yes.
And the NASCAR issue, the NASCAR is just one of many pervasive social conditioning that continues to perpetuate the idea that we're going to have fun even if it's dangerous and foolish. We're going to celebrate dangerous and foolish behavior as the energy, the life force that defines American life. And as a consequence of that, it spills over into violence, unruly behavior, people who have no appreciation or respect for principled behavior, sound judgment, don't even have any respect for the wisdom that comes with age. As the greatest criticism against President Biden is the fact that he's an older gentleman. I mean, this is the fact that we would prefer somebody who is younger and more vibrant and more fun-loving and more able to demonstrate the fun mentality that we have come to love so much.
Well, that's what they have done. They have programmed us to want to have that kind of experience because that is what will bring us joy, because we don't want to pay attention to that what really needs to be paid attention to. And that's part of the problem, but that's also why we are here as the Female Solution, to share the kind of information that we need to know in order to be of service to the community and show people the right way. And that's what we do here. It is 8:00. If you just joined the conversation, we're going to take our next break. And while we are doing that, you forward this to someone and let them know that the Female Solution is on. And Brother Lionel Abdul Haq of Community Cultivation, as the children say, is spitting knowledge that they need to hear. So we'll be right back. Share this video. Thank you.
Do you want to live in a world without war? Join our global peace Heavenly culture, world peace, and restoration of life transcend culture,
You're welcome.
religion, ideology, and other boundaries to achieve peaceful harmony in the global society. HWPL is committed to bringing world peace and cessation of war through peaceful dialogue between religious groups. I'm Director Shinsu Kim of the HWPL Chicago branch of North America. Join us for our next gathering. Call 773-580-1501 and be a part of the movement for world peace. Email us at chicagohwpl@gmail.com.
Are you constantly arguing with your spouse? Are your children misbehaving and acting out? Someone in your family abusing drugs? Have you been victim of domestic violence? Are you grieving the loss of a loved one? Let us help you restore serenity to your life. At Serenity Family Social Services, we understand that good mental health is a result of emotional well-being. Our goal is to assist you and your family in relieving emotional distress and restoring harmony and balance to your lives. We offer individual, couples, and family counseling. I'm Ira Williams, CEO of Serenity Family Social Services. Call us again at 312-315-4820. That's 312-315-4820.
What happens when a group of people are kidnapped from their homes, smuggled away in chains, and held captive in a foreign land where they are tortured, raped, and forced to perform hard labor by the lash of a whip and under the constant threat of death? Slavery, the African American psychic trauma. What happens to the doctors, writers, scientists, builders, educators, and spiritual leaders from Africa's golden age? Who could they really capture and sell into slavery? Are all African Americans suffering from psychic trauma because of a conspiracy to hide their true identities? Do you have psychic trauma? Take the test on page 22 of the book and see. Order it online today at www.naimalatif.com. That's www.naimalatif.com. And get your personally autographed copy of the book, Slavery, the African American Psychic Trauma. Hi, I'm Dr. CJ of Valona Health, where we combine orthopedic manual therapy and neuroscience to treat the whole person. Health tip for the day is keep it moving. Doesn't matter how, just keep it moving, doing something you enjoy. Walking, dancing, rolling on the floor with your dogs or kids, really anything. The body craves movement to keep the bones, joints, and muscles happy. Even our mental health and internal organs and digestive system rely on our movement. Thanks for being a part of the Higher Learning Network, the Female Solution.
Grand Rising, and thank you for joining us back here on the Female Solution. I'm your host. Welcome to Monday Morning Mindfulness on the Higher Learning Network TV show, which airs Tuesdays at 6, Wednesdays at 1 on Channel 19 and 24/7 on the World Wide Web, on our YouTube channel, Higher Learning TV show, and on our Facebook channel too, Higher Learning TV show. Today's topic is NASCAR weekend. Streetway says, how did this Independence Day weekend benefit Chicago? Well, before we dive into that, let's take a look at some information that was just shared with me by Baba Kwame Sunhorse, and it talks about how Prohibition gave birth to NASCAR. And I was like, oh, okay. It wasn't gasoline, but moonshine that fueled the growth of stock car racing in Appalachia and led to the rise of NASCAR. Can you believe that? Yes, believe it. That's why I am always honored and happy to share the information that is shared with me. Now, this is a lot of information, and it is way too much to share here on the show. So what I'm going to do is share this information on my blog on zeldaspeaks.wordpress.com. Because as you can see, as I am scrolling down, 10 things you should know about prohibition, 10 And of course, Lionel, 10 ways Americans had fun during the Great Depression and why ice cream soared in popularity during Prohibition. Yeah, anything to make us feel good, feed our face, um, drink till we are numb, anything. Oh, wow, there was a NASCAR photo. Did you see that from the 19, I don't know what, early 1900s. I don't know what that was. But anyway, that information will be on my blog. And I want to thank Baba Kwame Sunhorse for sharing that information. As a matter of fact, he is on the line. Oh, and if you want to comment, 515-605-9325, press 1 to speak. I see your call, 773-312. But first, let's go to 706-202. And I do believe that it's Baba Kwame Sunhorse. Grand Rising, Baba Kwame. Unmute yourself. Grand Rising.
Grand Rising, and your co-host. You know, it's very important what we're sharing. And what we're looking at is, you know, how they take wrongs to make right. And every car that's in that NASCAR race is sponsored by some corporation.
Yes.
Looking at still a money-making business, you know, $1 billion business. And what we're looking at is advertisement and utilizing,
yes,
you know, them getting more money in by all of those that attended.
Yes.
And the other part is we're looking at, we had the mass shooting that went on in Baltimore, but we got to look at what are we getting ready to do tomorrow? What is the 4th of July to the African American, and what is the 4th of July to the Native American? We had both cultures, both people were in annihilation at that time with this country formulating something that it was stealing from one, it stole us. Then they stole this land from the people that were already occupying it. So we celebrate and commend crimes against humanity. And we will make a holiday and celebrate and fly flags and do fireworks celebrating criminality. You know, it really is something about this culture.
Yeah, the fireworks themselves is about guns and fire, shooting rockets, and there's violence and that's violence. You know, the idea of fighting for independence is the idea of somebody dominating and controlling you with ideas and principles that you don't want or don't want to follow. And so the freedom is that you want to be. The reality of freedom is to be self-determining and not to have someone else controlling and dictating how you live and what you live. The whole concept, I'm glad you mentioned, Brother Baba, that the corporations are the ones who are behind all of this.
Yes.
And the profit margin necessitates making your customers, your future customers, think less. They don't want them to be thinking, intelligent, God-fearing people. We want them to be foolish, childish, magic-oriented, who believes in fantasy and foolishness.
Yes.
And that will make your money grow the way it has in the modern world, where 80% of wealth is controlled by 1% of the population.
Yes, yes. You are right on target. So what's the next step?
So thank you for that, brother. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Baba Kwame Sunhorse.
And what we're looking at is how do we decolonize? What we have been is we've shown this colonization gave birth to capitalism. And in that capitalism, we had to be forced to be consumers. First, we had to be laborers, and we had to be, eliminated in order for them to create ways in which to say that they have to have capital. How are you going to come into my country and kill more of my people with a barrel of rum than you do with a barrel of a gun?
Wow. That's a thought for you. Kill more people with a bottle of rum than you do with the barrel of a gun. I never looked at it like that. Yeah, that's food for thought.
Well, you know, in the Bible, NASCAR.
Say
So
that
in
again.
the scriptures, the Bible, Holy Quran, and most of them have an allegorical story about Adam in the garden. Adam and Eve, first man and woman in the garden.
Mm-hmm.
And they were being told about the forbidden fruit and the forbidden tree. And although people think about it as a literally as a piece of fruit and a tree, it's really symbolic of culture. It's really representing an idea that says that a culture that mixes good and evil and then feeds it to the people will kill the people, will kill the God consciousness, will kill the love and the respect, the principles that guide and provide structure for the life of the future generations. And once you take that out, you will surely die. Once you start to feed on that kind of culture, you will surely die as a God-fearing, mortal human being who is created in the image of God, supposedly to be a better, to make the world a better place, to cultivate the earth, and to keep it growing in accordance with those fundamental principles. Once you start to feed the people ideas that elevate fun and foolishness above discipline and wisdom, you have fed them the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil. And you can control those people like you control cattle and children.
And we are being controlled. Yes, we are.
And exploited
yes.
as a consequence.
Yes. And we don't even see it.
We get sick.
And they get rich and we get sick. Wow, never looked at it like that. I gotta write that one down. And that one and the one about the rum and the barrel of the gum. Yeah, I'm old school. I write things down. I'm not typing it in. They get rich and we get sick. Okay, 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak if you would like to join the conversation. But I have a question. How do we begin the process of coming out from under this spell that we are in? Because this is definitely a spell that is taking us to places that we don't want to be and keeping us there longer than we want to be there. Go ahead.
We have a saying, before you read the Holy Quran, before you do anything, we used to say, "A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim." I seek refuge with Allah from Satan, the rejected enemy. Because that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a satanic influence that has been growing in the world for numbers, not just since they started the Independence Day, not just America. This has been going on for generations and generations. And the process is secretive in the sense that there are people who are manipulating this situation for generations. Their families. There are families who have historically passed on wealth from one generation to another, and have when one nation falls, these people just change their identity, they move to a different situation, and they start all over again, cultivating the same concept, the same kind of social generation that they had done before. And it's a continual process. But this is all part of the understanding that comes from serious study of scripture, serious study of history, and serious commitment to follow the disciplines of something that has its root in history and divine guidance. And those who can resist the compulsion to have fun and to be a part of this fun, foolish mentality world of living, who can resist that long enough to pray and follow some discipline and learn and study, would be blessed with guidance and understanding.
That means
Can I also add to that? And I thank you, Brother Lionel, because that was excellent and guidance from the teachings. And it's another part that we have lost, and it's four things that are very important as human beings. How do we value? What are our morals? Who do we respect? What are our ethics? Values, morals, respect, and ethics. Those four things, one at a time, the foundation of a community. They have been almost erased from the community. And what we're seeking is how do we reawaken? How do we recover? How do we reconnect? How do we remember who we were once upon a time? And that's what Brother Ryan was talking about, the study. The only
and practice. It's not just study, but the real study is in the practice. You can practice fasting, you can practice charity, you can practice doing good deeds. Just doing good deeds. Exercise your spiritual life that is from your Creator. The foundation of all social life is rooted in a set of behaviors that cultivate and promote social well-being.
Right. And I was adding, part I wanted to finish on is the part of truth. The only vowel in the word truth is you. Each of us has been born with truth inside of us. With that study and with that discipline and action, we will see what we were born and a purpose as being a reflection of the Creator that gave us breath. So what we're looking at is how do we allow someone to take the place of that which gave us breath that breathes the same from the same Creator that we all are. And like you said, Satan and the big leader of the life.
They do it in the name of God. They come in and pretend that they got your best interest.
right.
They come in and pretend that they are offering you the guidance of God. Principles of freedom and justice are things that they claim that they stand for, that they really don't.
Right.
And they subtly undermine it. They subtly undermine those ideas in principles like God is a man. When they start focusing your attention away from God and on man, is how they begin to subtly separate you from the ideals and principles of human behavior and get you to focus on the flesh and the identity of being a certain skin color, a certain nationality, and that is your ticket. That is your badge of honor. Your skin color.
And man only stands for is what they have done here. MAN stands for to make another nation. What they have done in their humanness and their greediness is to formulate a way in which they came in and introduced fear. The technology of weaponry and the barrel of rum was what they came into this country with. The technology of weapons. We did not, in this land and in the continent, did not use guns. This is the creation of our enemy. And the part of it is weaponry to produce fear. And fear and love are the two forces on this planet. And once we overcome our fear of this human being saying that he's greater than the Creator, because he is not greater than what we live on, is Mother Earth. He cannot produce what this earth has produced with all the technology that he's creating. So it's being able to find our truth, and that's an inside job.
Yes.
It begins in the 4 laws of change. It has to begin with a thought. And from the thought, you make a plan. And from the plan, you have a vision. And from the vision, you create that forest, that what you were saying in the garden. It was that tree of good and evil that was the tree as it stands and we see it. It has as many roots up under, and the World Wide Web was here before there was any World Wide Web.
The Wood Wide Web. I love that. It is 8:21. If you just joined the conversation, thank you so much for joining us here. We are live on The Female Solution. And the topic today with my co-host, Brother Lionel Abdul Haq of Community Cultivations. Yeah, we're talking about everything that went over this past weekend with the NASCAR races, how it affects our community. How did it benefit? How did Independence Day benefit those living in Chicago? Got a few comments here from my sister, from another Mister. Evietta Robinson says, as Eckhart Tolle teaches us, we can look at the suffering of natives and former slaves as a motivating factor going forward to self-transcendence. The karmic energy ends when we make divine, conscious choices. Thank you, Vieta. But we have to be in a state of alive, of conscious, in order to make divine conscious decisions. Thank you so much for sharing that. You are right on target. You cannot make a conscious decision if you aren't conscious. It's pretty much impossible. So thank you for sharing that. And if you'd like to share your comments, we'd love to hear what they are. Here on the Female Solution and Higher Learning Network TV show, which airs Tuesdays at 6, Wednesdays at 1 on Channel 19. I look at how we are, and you said it earlier, how fear keeps us in bondage. Fear will keep us in a place we don't want to be, and longer than we want to be there, because we haven't learned the tools of the trade or tricks of the trade, but I prefer tools. It's a consciousness raising effort, to say the least. Mm-hmm. And when we begin the process, like the breathing, that's what that is all about. You cannot do something when you are upset. You can't do things that are constructive, I'll say, when you're upset. You can't do that. So you have to have the mindset to control your thoughts and your energy. And you can't do that when you're being programmed constantly, daily, with radio and TV and this, the NASCAR. It's a challenge. So as Grandma used to say, you got to put on your thinking hat and think beyond what meets the human eye and what you're seeing. Go ahead.
Sure. I was going to say, and the idea of responding, the orientation to be pulled from your flesh.
Yes.
The orientation to be responding to some fleshly carnal appetite.
Right.
Whether it's food, whether it's drink, whether it's movement that has to do with dancing or partying or having fun. All of these ideas are incorporated into our social reality and programming through movie, music, television. And as a consequence, they become so pervasive. They become so dominant. They become such a valued part of who we are that they undermine our ability to be serious and to be real. And it is such a profound reality of divine guidance that the culture has brought forth in the young generation those two words that I constantly try to reiterate. Get real and recognize. Recognize. Reevaluate. Reassess the ideals, the values that your life is motivated and driven by. And you will find, by and large, that is driven by magic and foolishness as much as it is by faith and intelligent behavior. And that is what cognitive dissonance is all about. That is what the fundamental state of mind, of insanity, of all mental illness is rooted in cognitive dissonance. You not being able to separate or having the same faithful life.
Mm-hmm.
They have as much attachment to magic and gambling as you do to doing good deeds and cultivating better human relationships.
Mm.
You put more effort in, you put just as much value in one as you do in the other.
Mm.
And that is the foundation of insanity. When you where both of those conflicting ideas operate in your life with the same degree of enthusiasm and support.
And you wonder why the world is in the shape that it is at this point? Well, now you know. Excuse me.
So it's going to change. It is unsustainable that we can continue in this direction. But there are too many crazy people. There are too many people who are so fun-loving, and so their concept of freedom is the ability to do whatever the hell they want to do.
And they do just that.
And it's a hell of a thing that they because they want to do things that are foolish, violent, dangerous. It creates a social reality that is foolish and dangerous and violent.
I look at some of the things that adults do, and we try to blame it on the youth, but it's like they're doing some of the things that they see us do. So we cannot point fingers. We have to.
It's just got to work.
Yeah.
You reap what you sow.
Yeah.
If you lay the foundation of foolishness and violence for your children, they're going to be even more foolish than you.
Right.
And it keeps getting worse.
Right.
The situation is escalating because in trying to address the problem, so-called address the problems of crime and stuff, we concentrate on the aftermath. We're not looking at the root causes of crime. Because they know the root causes of crime is the foundation that also makes them a lot of money. So they're trying to solve the problem.
Right.
They want to manage the problem.
Right.
They want to contain, they want to send the problem to certain areas and get the profit from it at the same time.
Yes. And that is the way that corporate America works. And it will continue that way until we, the people, decide that we have had enough and we want to do something different. And that's just how that works. 515.
If you want something different, you got to do something different of a different nature.
Yes.
I think the idea of repentance that has come about in every situation where before the fall of nations in the history of the world, there was a time when somebody was trying to tell them, you got to change. You got to stop what you're doing now and do something different. And they didn't listen.
And they didn't listen. And as a result, we are still having that same experience today. It is 8:30. If you just joined the conversation, we're speaking with Brother Lionel Abdul Haq of Community Cultivations, our co-host here every first Monday of the month. It is Monday, July 3rd. Tomorrow's the 4th. And we're talking about the NASCAR weekend street races. How did this Independence Day weekend event benefit the citizens of Chicago? I don't know that it did, other than bringing chaos and confusion to the streets. But as you can see, nature took care of that yesterday. So the rain, where you couldn't even see in front of you, let alone go out on the street and drive a car. But stay close. We'll take your calls right after this last break at 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Naima Latif, executive producer of the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. We are a part of the online network of Associated Internet Radio hosts. On Air. On Air empowers you with transformative news and interactive radio TV shows. This is such a wonderful time to be alive and to see our human family coming together as one community as a result of that powerful tool, the internet. We can now talk directly to each other all over the world. There's no need for for conflict or misunderstanding. There's no need for violence to solve our differences. We can talk to each other face to face until we reach an agreement. On Air offers a fantastic global guide to communicators from all over the world who are using their internet platforms to inspire us to strive to be our best selves in order to become the kind, compassionate, loving people we were all born to be. Once we do that, we'll see planet Earth transformed into a place of peace. Subscribe to the recommended YouTube channels, Facebook pages, and podcasts created by these Voices of Enlightenment. On Air provides daily news briefs and a weekly magazine to keep you abreast of events and opportunities. On Air news affiliates in television, radio, and print share information, insights, and interviews with notable personalities. Go to OnAirEverywhere.com for a daily dose of uplifting news. We're on air everywhere, online all the time.
Oh man, God sent the Monday sun bill today. This sunlight is really expensive, especially during this season. I'll probably have to work overtime to pay it.
Well, you better pay it on time. We don't want the sun to go out and we're sitting up here all day in the dark. Wouldn't it be terrible if God charged us for sunlight? Well, thank God, the light and heat from the sun is free. So why are we paying such high bills for the energy we use in our homes? Because we don't know how to use solar energy, the free energy from the sun. You can convert your regular home to a solar energy home and save tremendously on your electric bill. Take a look at your electric bill. Wouldn't you like to reduce or possibly even eliminate that cost altogether? Let one of our solar consultants show you how. Call today, 312-849-3456. And schedule a free consultation. That's 312-849-3456. Hi, I'm Dr. CJ of Valona Health, where we combine orthopedic manual therapy and neuroscience to treat the whole person. Health tip for the day is keep it moving. Doesn't matter how, just keep it moving, doing something you enjoy. Walking, dancing, rolling on the floor with your dogs or kids, really anything. The body craves movement to keep its bones, joints, and muscles happy. Even our mental health and internal organs and digestive system rely on our movement. Thanks for being a part of the Higher Learning Network, the Female Solution.
Grand Rising, and thank you for joining us back here on The Female Solution. I'm your host, Zelda Speaks. Welcome to Monday Morning Mindfulness with my co-host, Brother Lionel Abdul Haq of Community Cultivations, and the subject is NASCAR weekend street races. How did this Independence Day weekend event benefit the city of Chicago? I always say, as many do, follow the money. So where's the money coming from? When I'm looking at the races, Lionel, I'm looking at the fences that were put up, and all I see was McDonald's signage everywhere. And I was like, oh, McDonald's sponsored NASCAR. McDonald's with all the cancer causing French fries. Yeah, I saw a documentary on French fries, how the farmers are being treated that produce the French fries. They cannot have even one potato with one black spot on it, or they throw out the whole bunch. This is a documentary I saw on YouTube, how the potatoes are sprayed with chemicals by the farmers that the farmers have to leave in the field, and the farmers do not, I need you to hear me clearly now, the farmers do not go back into the fields for not one, not two, not three, not 4, but 5 weeks. Do you hear what I'm saying? The farmers do not go back in the field for over a month after they have sprayed the chemicals on these potatoes to keep the pests and whatever else off, because it is so detrimental to your health. You cannot breathe. And just think about that every time you go to McDonald's and get them French fries. See, because I wouldn't go to McDonald's. I would just go to McDonald's to get the fries. I don't want the hamburger. I don't want any of that. I used to get the salad because they have an awesome, what do you call it? It's like a black bean salad with broccoli and not broccoli, avocado. So I love the with the corn and the beans. But I'm just learning my lesson to eat at home, because those who fix your food, they also fix your face. And what do I mean by that? The expression you will have on your face when you are diagnosed with some conditions that could have been avoided because you ate out instead of eating at home. So as Lionel says, if you want something different, you got to do something different. And that different, we've been conditioned to eat out, Lionel. We want to get together, have a family get. Let's go eat out. So that's one good thing. Yeah, fast food. But that's one good thing about celebrating the 4th of July is that we do cook at home, even though even if it is a lot of food that is detrimental to our health. It's like I'm not gonna eat the whole pie. I'm just gonna eat a slice of the pie. But that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So if you got comments you'd like to make this morning, we'd love to hear from you. 515-605-9325. Oops, I'm sorry, 3773. I just kicked you out. I'm sorry. Please call back. 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak. But as you can see with the photo on the screen, and I'm going to put that on my blog. Actually, it's already on the blog. I'll be adding more information as I am presented with that information to share with you. Thank you, Baba Kwame Sunhorse, for sharing the information that is currently on my blog at zeldaspeaks.wordpress.com. And I'm pulling that up here so that you can see it. What does the 4th of July mean to the indigenous people? And there will be more information to come, but right now, that's what's there. So Lionel, I would like for you to continue to share the information that you have in regards to how can we move forward and come out from under this shadow, this gun, this way of being that constantly sending us in the wrong direction. What's the next step?
Well, it's basically, I think, as I've said often, getting rid of and recognize those two words that really speak profoundly to the problem and the solution. We're not being real. We're being programmed to be phony, to be foolish, to be caught up in illusion, to believe in magic, to believe in foolish ideas that are contrary to common sense and sound principle, mathematics, reap what you sow, those kinds of things. That's the beginning. I think the beginning also is to be sincere, and to seek refuge in our Creator. To however you understand the Creator, different religions out here. I'm a Muslim. I identify very strongly with the teachings of all religions, however, in the sense that I believe all of them have some back. And the more you know about the rest of all of them, the better you can see the big picture, a divine picture. And you can separate what is real from what is unreal, what is true from what is false. Reading and studying is fundamental to our being as human beings. Our mind is our most important tool.
Amen.
It's not our strength. Our strength is not in our body. Our strength is in our mind. And if we cultivate our mind with the study of history, not the history from the perspective of the people who were studying, read from a historical perspective of what the Native American thinks of what happened to this country and how this country was founded. Get the other perspective. Don't just read what the Europeans said about the settling and the founding of this country.
Because they're not going to tell you the truth. They are not going to tell you the truth. You got to do your own research to find out. You are right on target, Lionel. I love what I'm. Yeah.
That's called cross reference. You know, you study
Yeah.
from different perspectives.
Yeah.
And you seek sincerely, first of all, to ask God to guide you. Ask whatever
Yes.
idea of God you have
Yes.
to guide you sincerely and get up and go to work.
Right.
And do some study.
Right.
And you will start to find, especially if you will, I think it's important to study religion, all religion, from
Yes.
a historical perspective.
Yes.
You can't go by what they say.
Yes.
Study what the people who were affected by their introduction of their lifestyle and teaching
Right.
to them. It ain't complicated.
At all. And the internet is there for you. You don't even have to leave home to go to the library. It's on the internet. It's free. Just like it is here on this page that Baba Kwame Sunhorse sent me. It said during the 1930s, moonshiners began to race their whiskey cars at local fairgrounds and racetracks where they discovered that people, sometimes tens of thousands of them, were willing to pay to watch them showcase their driving skills. So now, they're still paying. I think tickets were like, what, $3,000 or something? I'm like, really? To see somebody race, almost get killed? Really? $3,000 for a ticket, Lionel. Can you believe that? $3,000. And you got people sleepless. Yeah. Out here on the street, homeless, sleeping on the street. And McDonald's can pay for the NASCAR, so how come they can't feed the homeless on a daily basis or weekly basis or any kind of basis? How about that? Oh, that'd be too much like right. What was I thinking?
The idea of making money is more important than helping people.
Right.
And if that was the case, if that was reversed, then we would have less people who were homeless, because the example of helping others would encourage the people who are homeless today to do more than what they're doing to help the world too.
Right.
So we got problems. The problems have to do with us making change, recognizing that the rich people are generating and controlling the information that we feed on, and that information is willfully doctored to benefit them more than it benefits us.
Mm-hmm.
And it benefits them by making us foolish enough to be willing to spend money on foolish things as opposed to things that would benefit humanity.
Mm-hmm. No, humanity does not count in this. It's all about the moolah. I'm scrolling through this link that is on my blog, zeldaspeaks.wordpress.com. And I'm scrolling through it. It says how Joseph Kennedy made his fortune. Hint, it wasn't bootlegging. So that's the Kennedy patriarch amassed great wealth partly by selling alcohol, but he also made savvy deals and sales that became extremely lucrative. So you go and read this. There's a little bit of history. Baba Kwame Sunhorse has made a little history for you. And there's also a little video in here how Prohibition created the mafia. And I'm not going to show that to you now because, of course, there's commercials on it, and I'm not trying to see it, and I know you're not. But I will place that on. That's on my blog, so you can go and see that. I mean, this is from history, history.com news. Joseph Kennedy. Just go to my blog, zeldaspeaks.wordpress.com. You'll see all the information there. This is phenomenal, Baba Kwame Sunhorse. Thank you so much for sending this information in, because this is the kind of information that will give us some perspective on the things that we need to know, because knowledge is power. And if you don't have the knowledge, you just go, do the norm of what everybody else does. So just wanted to share that with you. So be sure and go check out the blog. Go ahead, Lionel.
Well, history, from my perspective, goes back a lot further.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm talking about the study of history, I'm talking about going all the way back to ancient Kemet.
Yes.
And recognizing that the connections between much of what they were about in ancient Kemet
has been misrepresented and misused, transformed, turned on its head today. The concept, the idea of most of everything that we got in the modern world that it was any value was borrowed, stolen from the legacies of ancient kingdoms. But it's been twisted. From my perspective and what my studies have shown me is that the concept of human development is and social development is what the pyramids were about. That they were symbolically representative of the connection between the universe and the planetary system and the working of the human body, the chakra systems and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
And that this knowledge has been lost, hidden, misrepresented into just the opposite, where the knowledge of human development was transformed into the knowledge of how to degenerate human society and to exploit them in the process so that the few get the wealth and the many get the misery. And that is where we are. We've been, the history of the modern world has evolved back up and they got it working. So we ain't gonna be able to get away with his headphones.
Excuse me? Who's this?
What was that?
Have no idea, but let me go to the
Where
phone.
did it come from?
Have no idea. 312-833. You're live on the Female Solution. Grand Rising. What's your name? Where you calling from? And what is your comment or question as it relates to the NASCAR weekend street races? How did this Independence Day weekend benefit Chicagoans? Hi, who's this? 312-833.
Yes, this is Brother Trump. Assalamu alaikum to Brother Abdul. Brother Trump. From Chicago, Illinois. I don't personally believe that the benefit to the people, I think the benefit of the naysayers or the negative images, as you could see what happened with the NASCAR race, is it created negative danger. It really was as Brother Abdul mentioned, a imagination, and it was it did not benefit the homeless or the poor people in Chicago at all. But I would like to inject the thought, of the PMA, the positive mental attitude, that we need to go back to the roots of God and the ancestors. And as a result, we will be promoting the 4th of July all day at 63rd Street Beach with the 63rd and 64th Street drummers and calling on God and the ancestors to help us to stop the violence. And when I say we, I'm talking about the Harold Washington Foundation and Trump News Productions presents a day on the beach to celebrate God and the people, which goes back to our ancient culture and history and heritage of Kemet. And I believe that Brother Abdul is no doubt right in the difference of fun and fiction and fashion is a negative type of resource, and the positive is always God and the people where we can see the benefit spiritually and physically and mentally, making a difference in life, that we can feel happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise as a people, according to our history. And for more information, brothers and sisters, you can call me, Minister Plump, at 312-833-0475. Thank you so much. God bless you and keep up the good work.
Thank you so much.
Zelda, all power to God and to the people.
All right, now, thank you so very much, Minister Robert Floyd Frump from the south side of Chicago. As we are winding down here. Yes, go ahead, Lionel.
So thank you, brother, for his call in and comment. We got to get real. We got to get real. That's a profound statement that the young people have picked up and carried all around the world. And, it's important for us to do that. Come out of the fantasy, come out of the idea of having fun all the time. You can have fun doing good things. You can have fun doing things that are positive and that are safe. And that do not reflect the mentality that says you're going to do something foolish and dangerous for the sake of fun. That's not good judgment. We need to start focusing on doing things that are going to promote a healthy human society. Put our efforts into having fun doing things that will make a difference in a positive way. And that can make a big difference in our lives personally, and blessings of God, the blessings of the Creator, come as a result of what you do to glorify God, to make people believe in God, to make people want to be better people themselves. Real good deeds inspire good deeds in others. So this is where we have to go. We can't just keep talking about having fun for the sake of the foolish idea of some carnal sensation. We have to do good. We have to have fun doing things that will gratify the spirit, glorify God, and gratify our human spirit.
Okay. Well said.
That's what I recommend. And the more you study and learn how we've been tricked and bamboozled over and over again into behavior that undermine our human spirit, we will start to even faster run in the other direction.
Yeah.
Because this is all designed to degenerate and demoralize.
Yep.
To kill our moral sensibilities and our human sensibilities.
Yes, sir. And so
to take us out of our human form and turn us into brute beasts.
Right.
Wild animals who are motivated by carnal appetite.
Excuse me, got a little frog here in my throat. And that's going to take some time. That doesn't happen overnight. It's a process. You've got to do the work. You have got to first of all, you got to make the commitment, because we say we're going to do things, and then we get around those who are doing things that we want to do, and we forget about it. And at some point in time, it's going to take a toll on our lives. And until we make the decision to do something better, life will remain as it is. But we have the opportunity to make a difference. And how can we do that? One of the ways is by, can I speak? Oh, okay. Sure. Let me open this up. 706-202. Is that Baba Kwame? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just wanted to share, because we're looking at history. People should listen to the James Earl Jones, I think, does an excellent orator of the speech of Frederick Douglass, what is the 4th of July to the Negro.
Mm-hmm.
He did that on July 5th, 1852. And we need to understand is that at that time, whenever we celebrate, we just a few weeks, not even a week or two ago, that we just were given Juneteenth. And as we've seen is that would be our independence, but even with looking at that as an independence day, it has not, because in the 13th Amendment, it says neither slavery nor indentured servitude except if you're duly convicted of a crime. When they alleviate that, the criminality of enslavement is still in place. The criminality of enslavement is still in place. And so what we're needing to look at is, how do we decolonize? This is what we're having to do. This is what a lot of the Native Americans are now focused on: decolonizing education, decolonizing the diet, food is medicine, decolonizing the way in which we have our cultural ways, and getting the land back that was taken. So these are the tools of remembering how we once were as a people, because what they're doing is what they call entertainment. It's to enter you and detain you from self-thinking.
Now, if that is not food for thought, I don't know what is enter-detainment. So how do you handle that? Like Brother Lionel Abdul Haq says, if you want something different, you got to do something different. You got to do something outrageous because they're not going to do it for you. You have to make the decision that you want something different in your life. It's a process. It's just like when we were in school and they were teaching us to do whatever they were teaching us to do, which was incorrect. But you have to take the time to study. What does the word say? And show yourself approved. It is 8:57. It is time for this show to end, but Naima Latif will be joining us for the after show. But before she does, let me read this to you. A Nation Story. This will be on my blog, zeldaspeaks.wordpress.com. What to the slaves is the 4th of July? It was a scathing speech in which Frederick Douglass stated, "The 4th of July is yours, not mine. You may rejoice, I must mourn. Fellow citizens, I am not wanting in respect for the fathers of this republic. The signers of the Declaration of Independence were brave men." And there's a whole story behind that. The Baba Kwame Sunhorse sent me, and I'm going to post that as well on my page. But I forgot to mention this in how the prohibition gave birth to NASCAR. It says, indeed, beginning at the prohibition era, the drivers transporting the moonshine from rural areas or illegally importing booze from Canada had to make resourceful changes to their vehicles to elude the authorities on winding back roads with hairpin turns. If it hadn't been for whiskey, NASCAR would have never been formed. How about that for some information? And that's information. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to end with this. The same three things that this country was captured by. Number one was gun. Number two was rum. Number three was cloth. And if you look at today, 2023, guns is doing the damage that we've seen, the mass shootings. You just seen NASCAR running the streets of Chicago from folks dealing with the part of liquor, running liquor. And we have more liquor stores in our community than we do grocery stores.
Yes, we do.
We're going to wear every other clothes except our own culture clothes.
You hit the nail right on the head. For those who are on the switchboard, if you want to speak on the after show, you need to call. You need to push 1 right now, because after 9 o'clock, you cannot push. You can push 1, but we won't see it. So you need to push that right now if you want to speak. And I see some hands are up. 312-872-773. I see your hands up, so just hold on and we'll go into the after show with Naima Latif.
Leave your comments about today's show. You can always reach me on my website at www.naimalatif.com. That's www.naimalatif.com. Watch our TV shows, listen to our radio shows, order our books, and be sure to get your copy of the book, The Female Solution. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussion. And to our global family listening from all around the world, please say thank you. To our families in China, Shushe, India, Nandaba, Japan, Arigato, Korea, Kamsamida, Russia, Siva, Germany, okay, Poland, German Korea, France, Merci, Spain, Gracias, Italy, Grazie, Egypt, Shukran, Ghana, Medasi, Nigeria, Eshe, South Africa, Niabonga, Senegal, Geret, Kenya, Asante, Israel, Toda, Pakistan, Shukriyan, Afghanistan, Tashakur, Saudi Arabia, Shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you. And may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessing.
And that is the end of the show. We are starting the after show with executive producer Naima Latif, who will be joining us shortly. But Lionel, I wanted you to give out any contact information and feel free to stay for the after show if you'd like to. So how can people contact you, Lionel? Did he hang up? I think he did. Okay, well, that takes care of that. Wow, he didn't even say bye, Lionel. You didn't even say bye to us. Maybe got disconnected. I don't know, because I've cut a few folks off here by accident this morning, so I apologize for that. But Baba Kwame Sunhorse from, are you still with us? Unmute yourself. Okay, go ahead until Naima shows up. She's getting a video that she'd like to share with us. So please go ahead and continue your thought.
Those three things that I said, guns, alcohol and drugs are synonymous. They're together. And then we have fraud. And when we look at our community, we see that those same three things are major problems in our community. They keep us at each other. And so what we're having to look at is how did this mind control or this control come about? And what we have to understand too is that when we begin to find these truths and understand these truths and study our story and not his story, then we have to look at how do we reconstruct it? How do we reconnect to how our people were once upon a time? And how do we create these communities that we want to see? Because once upon a time, we were a community. We're not a hood. We are a community.
Thank you.
We communicated with each other. We are wearing hoods like you see all these young people wearing these hoodies.
Mm-hmm.
It's because they don't want to see what's beside them. They just want to see what's in front of them. And basically what's in front of them is they're holding a phone. And you got to be mindful because July the 1st, 5G has been implemented.
Yes.
GC. And that is where now the thing is that the 5G is not just basically towers. It's coming from satellite to towers to your phone. And this is the new band because we said we live in an urban area. The C-band is what they're now putting around the cities. And this is like you're putting an electronic fence around these urban areas to where now you have people herded into communication. Yes, it's communication, but it's also an acknowledgement of where you are, who you are, and what you're doing.
Ooh. Okay, didn't know about that. Well, yeah, we sort of kind of know because we know that they're tracking us of everything we got. They're tracking us, so they can control it.
They have it to where it's not just from tower to tower. It goes up and transmit, and they can now seek and find you anywhere on Turtle Island, anywhere basically on the planet. Because now they implement this new bandwidth in which it's like a 6G. And if you look at Infinity, is already promoting 10G.
Yes.
In place. All of this is in place is because what they're doing is that if you control the mind, you control the behind.
I love that. Control the mind, you control the behind. What they say, control the mind and the body will follow.
Right. And what they're doing is adjusting the frequency to where when they want to implement, frequencies that will cause you to think other than what your heart is saying, it will give you untruth. And so we've got to begin to look at how all of this programming, this algorithm, this new coding, because we went from Jim Crow to Jim Crow. From Jim Crow Jim Crow, because racism has been put into technology, and this is the main thing in which it's going to be a tool of labor force for one, because most Walmarts are now self-checkout. So
Yes.
you're going to spend your money, bag your groceries, and do that because they don't allow people to have those positions of jobs anymore.
Right. So what do you do when you go to the store? You have no control over anything. That's why you need to be growing your own vegetables. They don't care about you. Nothing about you.
Right. And why Native Americans says is that decolonizing the food is medicine. They're teaching foraging, to where you can go out into the woods, into nature, and find the medicine and the foods that will sustain you. We should not be eating anything that does not grow in its own packaging.
Thank you. I went to the store the other day and the cucumbers was wrapped in plastic. I'm like, why? Why do we have cucumbers in plastic? They weren't born in plastic. They come from the ground. So why are they in plastic? And I went and asked the manager. Guess what he said? Oh, I don't know. And I'm like, well, I know, and I won't be buying them.
But what you have to begin to do is you go into these grocery stores and you go in there and ask for a manager and say, okay, where is your health food section at? They'll point to an organic section over in the corner.
Right.
And what is the rest of the store? If it's not life-giving, it's death-giving.
Right. You are absolutely right. And they don't care. They're there to get a paycheck. They could care less.
Right. But that's the way corporations are done.
Right.
And I was looking up here at the Jaguar now. They're getting ready to open up 2 dispensaries up here, and they've already got the farmers that will grow the marijuana that's going to be served in the dispensary. All of this is organized.
Yep. And you think it's all for your benefit. Yeah, it's for your benefit, all right. But it's not for your best health. I'll put it like that. It is not.
No.
You think it is, but it's not. And we've been trained to think that way.
Just like you said about the potatoes at McDonald's, and the 5 weeks that they can't go out there because of the chemicals. But most of the potato, you can take a regular potato, peel it, and make French fries and lay them out. 1 fry from that and 1 fry from a frozen one.
Mm-hmm.
That fry that you have frozen has formaldehyde on it.
Yes.
It will not turn brown. And so what you're looking at is they're using formaldehyde. My cousin on a funeral home in Mississippi, and when they go to convention, they have the biggest laugh about, we don't have to embalm all these young people because they got enough additives and preservatives that they got a shelf life for 5 years.
Are you serious?
No, they don't, because your body does not decompose as bad because you have put in all of those preservatives over the years of eating from these preservative additives and things that's in the food that you're consuming.
Wow.
But your body is not even in its natural decaying state.
Wow. How about that? Let's get a few of these comments. Deborah Smith says, I hope to find some positive benefits of NASCAR to share. I'm sure there is some. We just don't know what they are. I'm sure Naima will talk about that, Deborah. And we have way more liquor stores in our neighborhood because we allow it. Yeah, we don't make any effort to say go close this store down because it's causing chaos in our community. We don't do that. We let them come in and do whatever they want to do most of the time. But there's some that are not. Go ahead.
They don't look like us.
Right.
Even with the liquor stores in our community.
Yes.
We may work for somebody, but we don't own because we don't get the license to have that.
Right. Deborah also says, I love that too. Control the mind and you control the behind. And I want to thank Deborah and her company. Please type the company name in, Deborah, for the name of the company. Deborah, Move Around with Deborah every 3rd Saturday on the Female Solution from 12 noon until 2 p.m. I know she doesn't like me to do it, but I'm doing it anyway. Thank you so much for your company's donation for water and butane this week, because even though it is hot outside, they still need water. They still need to keep warm at night. So please type in the name of your company so I can send you a shout out. Thank you very much, Deborah Smith, part of the Female Solution. And Naima can't find the link, so I got to send it to her. Thank you for being here and for sharing the proceeds from your benefits and making it better for the residents of Tent City right here in Chicago. So thank you very, very, very much on behalf of the residents of Tent City. We'll be going over there. And thank you, Nelson, Andrew Nelson Bay, for the sweet potato pies that he brought. I know I digress, y'all. I do that all the time. Thank you for the sweet potato pies you dropped off. We'll be going and dropping those off today too. So thank you. And Nelson also sent me earlier. I was trying to remember the name of the photographer with Naima Latif. That would be John Alexander. I love what Deborah says here too. Whiskey running had no color. You got that right. But Viata says, I love this. I had to go back to this. We got to make a divine conscious choice, because the choices that we make are the choices that we have to live with. And we want to be sure that each and every choice that we make every single day does make a difference. Go ahead, Baba Kwame, while I find this link to send to Naima. Kwame, you still with us? Did I lose you?
I was no, you didn't lose me.
Okay. Okay.
And, we talking about feeding the homeless. And I'm sitting here at my mom's, and what I was doing was putting bread out to feed the birds.
Oh, okay.
Bread out to feed them, because we feed the animals. I mean, they have their own grocery store. So we turn around and we give them some of the things that we don't need, so we share what we have. And this is what we have to begin to do. How many people have an altar that we have a lot of unemployed ancestors, and in our tradition we would put fruits and foods that we share, because it's been given to us, and we feed the spirit of those that has gone on. Give them that special treat that they used to like and put it there. It's in remembering those. They're not gone. The body is gone, but the spirit and the heart of that person lives within us. And how do we feed that spirit of those ones that gave us the knowledge and the bodies that we have, the mothers that allowed us to grow in their womb, and to come onto this planet to do our purpose, and to build a mission for the next 7 generations? We have to begin to look at how our culture had a way in which we had self-sustaining in our own culture. We taken someone else's, because we didn't have homelessness back in the 50s.
Right. No, we did not. No, we did not.
Because we did not allow our people to do what we see today, and what we're thinking that we have made greater, because we got more millionaires and more billionaires that look like us. But look at what we have done to us.
Yeah.
Those people that are homeless are pitiless, because you have all the pennies. You had that $1 billion you could spend in a lifetime, and 3 or 4 lifetimes.
Right. Okay, if you are waiting to speak, 515-605-9325. Let's go to the phone. 872-337. Is that Mama AZ? Unmute yourself. 872-337. Hi, who's this? Grand Rising. 872-337. Unmute yourself. Hi, who's this? Okay. We will come back to you. Baba Kwame, you said that guns, alcohol, and drugs.
Guns, alcohol, and cloth.
And cloth.
But it's saying it's cloth. Right, cloth. It's because when they came in, the indigenous people were hired and skins from the animals that they killed and provided themselves with covering. They began to force into, especially the missionary schools, to remove the
children from their culture and put them in schools and dressed them in attires that was unbeknownst to who they once were. And then you turn around and you look at us, that we turned around and came, we had our own, some of the most beautiful adornment is in African attire.
Mm-hmm.
But we rather put on Tommy Hilfiger or all these designer names and pay top dollar for something that we used to do when we were in school. You had what? You had home economics, where you learned how to tailor.
Right.
You knew how to get on the sewing machine, cut out a pattern, and make your own designing clothes.
Right.
Colleges that we now have to go and spend top dollar to wear somebody else's something, a name or a badge, because I shared with you once upon a time, when you put some words on your body, you put the energy of those words in you.
Uh-oh, wait. Somebody needs to hear that again. Would you please repeat what you said about fashion?
Right. When you put on these advertisements that they do by putting their names and all of the whatever they put on the clothing, you are wearing what goes into your body. Those words have energy, and you're just like Dr. Emoto showed it. When you put a word on a bottle, you put that energy of that word in the water. Your body is what? 70% water. So when you're wearing these slogans and these advertisements for people, you are being absorbed by just those words that you put on your body.
Ah, how about that? So think about that the next time you go to get Gucci, Uchi, and Iarucci. Hello. Yeah. So that's why it's important that you envelop yourself or put words that you're going to see, words that will illuminate your well-being. You know, the folks that you went, they don't care nothing, they don't know you exist. Remember that incident with Tommy Hilfiger? That's a whole nother story. He's like, yeah, I don't know who those people are, don't care about it. Anyway, let me go pull up my co-host here after I see these couple of comments. Here she is. What Deborah says, I love that too. Control the mind and you control the behind. Thank you very much for Gateway Travel LLC, African American host travel agency since 2006. I said that right. And yes, so thank you so very much for your having an open heart in the first place to be of service to those who can't, who are unable at this point in life and living in Tent City as homeless residents. And I'm learning that when I'm packing the food on every Thursday at food courtesy of European American Association, EAAchicago.org, I am reminded, not because I have to put the names on the box of who I'm, because I have seniors that I deliver food to too. And I used to put homeless. And I thought about that one day. I said, if I was homeless, I don't need to see that every day. I already know the living condition that I'm in. So I start writing Tent City residents. And if it made me feel better, I can imagine how it made them feel better. So thank you, Deborah from Gateway Travel LLC. Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go because I'm getting my mom ready. Before I leave tomorrow, I'm going out to Brooks and we're going to visit my father and my brother.
Okay.
And paying respect to them.
Okay.
And being able to give her that opportunity to go and do this.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for Baba Kwame Sunhorse for stopping in, and tell your mom she has fans here on the Female Solution. What's her name?
Her name is Carolyn.
Carolyn. Thank you, Miss Carolyn. We appreciate you, and we appreciate the wisdom that you have shared with your son, Baba Kwame Sunhorse, because he just makes my day every time he calls in. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, Baba.
All right, y'all have a great day.
Thank you, and you have a better one. Deborah Smith says, oh my, we feed the neighborhood and the animals too. City life, yeah, we feed everybody because they eat, they come over, there's dogs over there. I've seen a cat, so yeah, there's plenty over there, but we couldn't do it without you. Thank you so much, Deborah Smith. So be sure and check out her show every third Saturday of the month It's Move Around with Deborah, and I hope you'll move around with us as we move around on the Female Solution today. I am moving around right now to the after show. Actually, we're already in the after show with our executive producer, Naima Latif. Take it away. Who's back from the NASCAR racetrack?
Yes. It was, it was quite an event, of course. And I saw.
You kind of low. Okay, there you go. Go
Let me
ahead.
see. Oh,
I got
okay.
you. I got you. No, that was my fault. That was on my end.
Oh, okay. I saw how much money was spent in preparing for this. Just the reconstruction and reconfiguration of Chicago streets and the setting up of the big TV screens and all of the equipment and everything. All the people, there were a lot of people hired for this.
Yeah.
There were a lot of security people. I'm sure when it came down to all of the various tasks that had to be done, a lot of new jobs were created. That's something that we can take a look at. And where did those jobs go? We ran into a number of people who this is their first time really paying attention to race car driving. So they introduced a new market.
Yeah.
And there's a video we can share with a young lady who is executive director of a youth organization, the Hope Youth Foundation, Chicago Hope Youth Foundation. And they brought a busload of young people to the McDonald's on 26th and King Drive, where they had an event on Thursday introducing a couple of the race car drivers that were being sponsored by McDonald's. And like it was said, all of the corporations, they got their big moment of promotion with their names on the cars of the drivers they were sponsoring. So it was a lot of money involved in this. And we also had an interview with one of the behind the scenes planners of the event. So there are several of these things, all of these things are available on our website, onaireverywhere.com. You can get the interviews with the winner. He was born in New Zealand, and he's been racing for years and has won, and gave us some insight on what it was like trying to navigate through Chicago's makeshift racetrack, the way we converted our city streets. And we also spoke to, we captured some of the interviews with the you just scroll down and you'll see the interview with the young lady from the youth organization. And yes, and so we now this interview was with one of the planning people who kind of gave us an insight about how long this has been in the works, at least a good 3 years in the works, behind the scenes negotiating with. Now, this is an interview, if you're able to play this one, with the Hope Center Foundation. And see, are we able to hear sound? And tell us what it means for your children to be a part of this NASCAR.
Absolutely. So I'm Shanita Muse. I'm the executive director of the Hope Center Foundation. We serve the far south side of the city, the amazing community of Roseland. And we brought our youth out here today because part of our mission and vision is to show them different opportunities, to show them career pathways. And what's a better career pathway, right, than being a NASCAR driver? So they're very excited to be here today, and I think it's exciting for them to see representation of us, an African American that's a race car driver. And so it's very important for us to just share that with our youth and just open and expand their minds to the possibilities that they have beyond the community that they live in. So that's why it was so important for us to be here today and bring our kids. And we would like to thank the Black McDonald's owners and operators who actually made it possible for us to be here today and to bring our youth out.
Great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. That was powerful, Naeem. I'm so glad you got that footage. Is there another one that we want to see here?
Well, also, perhaps the little clip at the top, the young man that was part of the planning, it just kind of gives us an insight as to how long this has been in the works, how many people are involved. The first one above that one, point to the screen.
Okay.
Yeah, this gentleman here.
Okay. Say that again.
My name is Liam Brotherton.
And tell us what you do with NASCAR.
So I work with partnership strategy, which in general, my department works on a lot of creative and strategy elements of our partnerships. So here in Chicago, that kind of manifested itself with our 4 founding partners and a lot of the official partners that are just across throughout everything, like Garrett Popcorn or any of the Chicago-based companies. My main goal was to help bring the vision of this to life, which came with a lot of creatives using stuff like iRacing, Google Maps to show McDonald's and Blue Cross and Xfinity and Choose Chicago what this would look like before it ever actually existed, so that we could try and get them to come here and activate and make this event possible.
So what was the thing that finally closed the deal and made everybody decide, yes, we can do this?
I would say a combination between iRacing, which is a video game platform. They came here about 3 years ago and scanned these streets in the night, and then they rendered this whole track out on iRacing and said, all right, here, drivers, try it real quick. Does this work? We tried it. It was pretty good. It seemed like it worked. And then, that kind of got the gears turned. It's like, let's get this in real life. Let's bring this to the people. So during COVID, actually, they had the first time there. Yeah, when NASCAR had a lot of their virtual stuff, they had one of these races, and then they did another one, and they had the NASCAR Coca-Cola guys, which is like a esports division of NASCAR. They ran here twice, and everything's been a success so far. So now we're just here in real life.
All right. Well, thanks. Good job.
All right, Naeem.
Yes. And that lets you know how long they've been working on this.
3 years.
It's 3 years. And did a whole simulation of what the track would look like based on just, like you said, going to Google Maps. You can see the whole city from above. You look at how the streets run, and just created a whole simulation of how they could actually map out a racetrack in that area, which really says a lot when you think of the planning that had to be involved, the safety issues. And I know a lot of the callers and of course the guests talked about the risk involved. Now, as a media person, this was interesting. All of us in the media who were going to be down there near the track doing video or photography, we had to sign a release.
Yeah.
Saying that NASCAR is not liable if an accident happens and we're injured. So you understand, and there were some crashes. Thankfully, no fatalities or major injuries, but cars got bent up a little bit. But there have been times when crashes have been very serious and people are hospitalized and things like that. And so you have to understand that if you're going to be there near the track, you are at risk if there is a crash. And we had a chance to think about that because it was very rainy. And if you were in Chicago and you were near your cell phone, you were getting those flash flood warnings.
Yep.
And they had to cancel 3 concerts because they couldn't make that work. But I knew the amount of money they put into that race, they had to make that. I mean, they had to try to scoop the rain off the streets and everything else to make sure that race continued. That first race, the Xfinity race on Saturday, they had to cancel that before it finished. They were supposed to race 55 laps, and they could only finish 25. In order for it to be an official race, they had to run 27, and they were going to try to continue it the next day, but the weather just wouldn't permit, so they just had to scrap that and name a winner based on whatever circumstances were happening at the end of the race the day before. So the weather played a huge part in it, and thinking of the safety issues, the drivers having to make those adjustments. There is one other interview also. The winner, we were in the press room when he spoke, and we were able to ask him about how he handled the whole weather situation, the street situation. And I guess you can go to, I guess you can type in onaireverywhere.com/sports, and that's at the top of our sports page. And he actually he's done street racing before in other countries. He's from New Zealand, but here in Chicago it's different because our streets are raggedy, and they patched it up, but it was still it was not easy. It's about 3 minutes when
race full time. I miss racing in the States. Like, I've done Daytona 4 or 5 times now, and just the way the American people are and how they go racing, it's so much more enjoyable. And even doing the media stuff, which I hate, like, everyone here is really nice. They ask good questions, and they're respectful, and it goes both ways. So yeah, everyone here has made me feel comfortable, and it's so enjoyable the way the races are run. Like the qualifying at Nashville, I couldn't believe how relaxed everyone was. But then it's like a switch, the intensity turns on and away it goes. So yeah, I'm committed next year to supercars. I still love supercars and hope it goes well there. But in 25, who knows?
His name is Shane Van Gisbergen. Is his name.
Going back to the athletic, you thought you had a motor problem there, or were you just being a little paranoid and hearing things?
Yeah, I got close to the fence, and it echoes funny off the fence sometimes, and I thought it sounded a bit funny, and I looked at the lap times. We went from doing high 29s to 31s on that last restart, and I wasn't really pulling away that much where I felt like I was trying. So, and then the water pressure, I don't really understand Imperial that much, so the settings are a little bit different to me, so I started stressing when they change color, but that's normal under yellow and under green and stuff. And I had put the radiator fans on for when I was in traffic, and it just got too cold when I was out front. So that was my bad. And yeah, I need to be able to switch or get them to change the dash to Celsius.
Yeah. One thing I saw was there was quite a few of your supporters here from Australia and New Zealand. Did you get a chance to interact with a lot of them? What was that like? Kind of
people came from Australia.
50,000 photos on the photo before, but there was some guys with SVG shirts that came from Australia and came to watch the race. So they snuck up onto the podium and took some photos with them. But the support we've had and the interest from Australia and New Zealand, it's been it's overwhelming, and so cool to see how interested people are in this race, and hopefully shows how good our supercar drivers are and opens the floodgates, and we can come over here and race. There hasn't been anyone from supercars since Marcus really come and have a go, but there's plenty of good drivers now wanting to come and try expand and come over here. Any of the top 10 in supercars are good enough to come and do what I just did.
Thank you.
All right, go ahead.
It's Naima Latifah on Air Daily News, and congratulations on your win.
Thank you.
It was a big deal changing the city streets to a race car track here in Chicago, but also this is usually the weekend where it rains. So how did this track compare to what you have experienced before? What kind of adjustments did you have to make based on the way the track ran and the weather?
It's pretty similar to some tracks we have, like the last half of Surface Paradise is pretty similar to this in some ways, but the changes in surface were extreme, like to go from old to new, and then the concrete. I've never driven on concrete like that really, maybe Sebring a little bit, but then when it rained, the concrete was crazy slippery for everyone. So quite different. But for NASCAR, like their first ever street race and the way the weekend run, unfortunately the Xfinity series didn't happen, but yeah, it's credit to NASCAR to nail it on their first weekend, and hopefully it leads to more street courses, and I'd love to be here for them.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna go to Reed.
All right.
All right now.
Yeah. So,
Reed Spencer with the NASCAR Wire Service.
so now just looking at the amount of money spent by fans, by the sponsors, by the city, this was a huge investment. And I'm sure there'll be some assessments as to who benefited financially, because that is a question that, our aldermen who represent the various communities need to be asking. There were, as we saw, there were some events in the neighborhood. There was, the McDonald's event. There was the event at DuSable and something on the west side. There were a number of neighborhood events with the drivers, promotional things and so forth, because I'm sure that was part of the deal. This is all about Chicago tourism and bringing back that global tourist attraction image that Chicago may have lost a little bit over the last few years with the riots and things like that frightens people. So we look at how the city is going to attract people from other states, other countries, and events that we don't usually have. How can this city attract more people who feel safe? And I think one of the biggest things that Chicago has to address is its international image as a violent, unsafe place. So these kinds of things appeal to, I guess, a different kind of person. I mean, what kind of people paid $3,000 for a ticket to a race?
Yeah.
And then whatever it costs, if they came from out of the country, whatever it costs for their plane ticket. I mean, it was a 2-day event, so that meant if they were from out of town, they spend hotel fees and all of that. Transportation. I'm sure a lot of the Uber people got a lot of the money that came from people coming from out of town and so forth. You have the trickle down of a lot of different places, the restaurants in the downtown area. So everybody who's looking to benefit financially from this, they wanted to succeed because they know we need to bring back some type of source of revenue. The Taste of Chicago was starting to kind of go awry. We had a couple of negative incidences of shootings and things like that. So when these things happen, it chases away money, and they have to figure out how to bring money back. Now, if they can't legitimately generate revenue from entertainment, sports, the arts, whatever it is, then what ends up happening, they start doing things to the citizens, like the extreme ticketing of our cars and giving police quotas of how much they got to raise. I know police gonna say, oh, they don't do that. Yes, they do. We know that. So, you get these quotas of tickets that you got to write, and you're literally finding any little thing to stop somebody so you can write a ticket so they can pay some money. And it creates a lot of stress because everybody's on edge. And we know that little things like traffic stops end up as fatalities.
Yep.
So when the city doesn't have money generating from other means, such as entertainment, then it begins to prey upon the citizens. These red light cameras and these speed cameras, these bogus tickets you get in the mail, and you can't even confront an officer because it's done by a machine.
Yep.
All of these things come about as a result of us not having a legitimate means to raise revenue, to pay the city's expenses, and to help with the business community that needs people to spend money. So all of these things are taken into account when they look at an event like this. How can it help the majority of the citizens with the flow of revenue, be it through the business community, the service community, all of these people who need a cash flow? And it would
be helpful if people came into the city and spent some money, as many people did in this event, so that we could see our economy be boosted, as opposed to us lagging. And then when there's a lack of economic opportunities, then we see a rise in crime. People start stealing because they feel like they can't legitimately earn or receive money through legitimate sales of products and services. So all of this is connected, and we have to see how it's connected so that we understand what position we should take. But then there is a lot of other things involved as well. There are safety issues. There are people who might look at this, and young minds are influenced. This can be a very violent sport if there is a crash. Yes, we had Black people in it, as our sister said. She wanted to inspire some young people, think of other careers, race car driver, even in the automotive industry. You got to be able to really put the engine together and change a tire and all these other things involved with the maintenance of the cars. So, there can be some positive things that come out of it. We always have to examine what is the best way to address what the issue is that is being brought to light by anything. It's just like bull riding. We covered bull riding last year, well, earlier this year, actually. And, I'm an animal rights activist. So watching this, I'm thinking, what kind of discomfort is the bull feeling? Because they got this strap around its middle. They claim it's not squeezing the bull's testicles, but I'm wondering, okay, then why is it bucking so hard? Are you hurting this bull? The reason why it's trying to throw you off, and is that cruelty? So I'm thinking all this. Meanwhile, I'm trying to video, but my other mind is thinking, how is the bull feeling? And then sometimes I'm cheering when the bull throws a rider. I'm cheering for the bull, but and because this is, and there were people in that sport that were hurt. So when we look at sport and we look at entertainment, I understand what Lionel is saying, but also understand how our economy is so tied into these things. And then when these things become prominent, we want one of us in it. So, last year, well, I think his name was Elijah Mitchell. I think a Black guy won the bull riding competitions, and we interviewed him, and interviewed another young man who was up and coming, young Black man. I was saying, okay, well, we need to get in these sports. We need to master these sports. We need to win, just like you have a Tiger Woods or a Serena and Venus Williams. You have people entering sports that usually are not available to them because it costs so much to practice, to get the equipment, all these things. So anybody, say, getting into the race car business, that's expensive. A lot of money. That's expensive. That tends to price us out. But yet the wins are so high. The kinds of money that you win if you win the race. It's all about the economy. If we don't like the way things are, we have the power to create something different.
Yes, we do.
If we think that the sports that are making so much money are too violent, we have the power to create sports, or to even focus on the sports that do not cause major bodily injury or major injuries to property, if that's what we want to do. But we have to understand that the reason why these other things are popular is because people enjoy watching them. Right. Now, there was a time when people loved watching gladiators in the Roman Empire, and they loved watching people fight to the death, and it's horrifying and bloody. As a human family, we've evolved out of that level of barbarism, but not much. So if we don't want the next generation of young people to gravitate toward that which is violent and hurtful. You know, football has caused a whole lot of brain injuries. You know, Beata, I can tell you about that. Matter of fact, I remember she did a show on that. So is boxing. So if these are sports, these entertainment events that draw a lot of money, which cities use to pay their bills and hire their workers, if we don't like that, then we have the power to create a substitute. And we should enjoy being able to see a performance where somebody's not going to possibly end up injured or killed.
Right.
There's all kinds of, there's dance. Usually dance doesn't, unless you break a leg,
Right.
usually dance doesn't hurt anybody. There's music, unless it's music that's advocating violence, usually it doesn't end in somebody getting hurt. There are a lot of artistic expressions that we can choose to enjoy that don't generate violence or don't lead to injury. But it's a matter of our taste as human beings. If we like seeing people hurt, then we're going to pay to see people hurt. So we got to look at ourselves. We can't point the finger at anybody else. It's us that's demanding this, because if you don't like it, you wouldn't pay to go and see it.
Muhammad Ali got me into boxing. Otherwise, I watch something so brutal. But
a lot of people into boxing. And he made a lot of money, and he raised the bar even for the amount of money that people could earn in the sport.
Right.
Is that a positive thing? Well, I'm sure it is for those who made the money. And it came down to, a lot of people don't know, when he was barred from boxing because he refused to go to the Vietnam War, that fight with Joe Frazier. I know people saw the movie Ali with Will Smith, the whole behind the scenes things that was happening, and Howard Cosell really trying to help him get back into the industry because that was his livelihood.
Right.
So all of these things that work together, the politics of the sports, the position that athletes are expected to take politically, or not take a position at all if they want to get paid. We saw what happened with Colin Kaepernick when he wanted to take a position about the police brutality and how they wanted to shut him out of the football industry, even though he was a winning quarterback. So politics, sports, business, entertainment, it all works together, because most of the time the bottom line is about the money, who's getting paid. And so what we've ended up doing is making sure we fight for our share of the money from whatever event is brought, so that since somebody's getting paid, we should make sure we get our share too.
Right.
That's true too. But then once that happens, we can't then attack the sport, because if we're benefiting from it as well, that's hypocritical.
Yeah, it is. And we have been known to be a little on the hypocritical side. Well, I'm not going to be a hypocrite anymore, because we got about just a few more minutes. I think this is Mama AZ 872-337. I see a hand up. Mama AZ, if that's you, unmute yourself. We can hear you loud and clear. Go right ahead.
This is Rashida.
Oh, hi, Rashida. How you doing, dear? Thanks for calling.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm okay. I was just thinking, Naima is absolutely right. And all of us, we should at every time to represent should band together and generate some revenue by doing some professional fundraising, because other funding institutions are doing it, but they're running out of funds, giving it to people who are soliciting for it. So what I plan to do this summer, hopefully, to generate some funds, some revenue for the homeless and develop housing and hospice, like housing for those who are in transition, is to utilize the Washington Park and develop a fun fest for the summer. That would include the youth. So what we're trying to do is get a committee, a fundraising committee for those who have similar goals and interests.
Okay. All right. That's powerful. Thank you so very much for calling in and for sharing that. We greatly appreciate that, Rashida from the South Side of Chicago. Thank you so much for calling and sharing that. That's crucial information. It is 9:51. You want to give us some closing thoughts before we close out here, Naima?
Yes, this is festival season. Support the arts and, go to the concerts, enjoy it, be peaceful. Nothing needs to erupt in violence. We've had a couple of years where we had to stay away from each other. And for a minute, people act like they had lost their minds once they had been let out the house. We can go we don't have to do that. Understand that everybody that you encounter, however you react or respond to them, you're going to get a reaction. So you have the ability to create a positive encounter. And just a short story, I think I mentioned to you, we were in line at the event getting ready to go into a space, and people kind of jostling and everything, and a guy kind of bumped me, and he said, "Oh, excuse me," a little white guy, you know and so I'm thinking, okay, no big deal. And then somebody kind of jostled me, and I bumped into him. And I'm like, "Oh, excuse me. I guess we're just destined to bump into each other." And he laughed and said, "Yeah, we might as well dance." And so we danced like we're going to dance together. And people around me started laughing,
I wish somebody had got some footage of that. That would have been nice.
But there's always a way you can bring humor to a situation and diffuse any kind of anxiety or stress. We always have the power to create the environment we're experiencing. So bring joy to wherever you are. Do not take anybody else's irritation as a personal attack, because it isn't. It's something they're responding to inside themselves. And if somebody's in a bad mood, find something you can compliment them on, raise their vibration, raise their mood to a higher level. Even if it's just, "Oh, girl, I like your nail polish. That's so pretty." Anything. Say something. "Oh, that's a nice tie you're wearing." I mean, just anything that can change their mood, raise their spirit, and change the atmosphere. We all have that power to do it. So use that power as you go out among people. And remember, you are a light. So be the light in the darkness wherever you are.
Amen. Be the light wherever you are in the darkness. And there's no darkness here, because we're going to show you how to get to the light with a very quick promo from our executive producer, Naima Latif. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Naima Latif. And if you're watching this, that means you're 1.6 billion people from around the world who are using an electronic device to talk to people. In these times, people are using the internet to talk to everybody. Friends, neighbors, family members, co-workers. People are on their cell phones and computers all day long. Now, if you're in business, that is great news. That means you can sell your products and services all day long and never have to leave your home. All you need is a media connection, somebody to connect you to an audience. And that's why I'm talking to you today. We produce programs, and our audience members are people who shop. They buy clothes, food, beauty supplies, cleaning supplies, home repair, transportation services, childcare services. Whatever you're selling, they need to buy it. We're your media connection. Just follow this link, and tomorrow you can sit back and relax at home while your business is making you money.
How you like me now?
Yeah.
Now go make you some money, honey.
What if you could do SEO smarter and faster?
So what are
With
you
Wix,
waiting
you can
for?
edit your.
You got the connection. You got the media connection right here. You got the executive producer. She can show you how to do anything and everything. All you got to do is show up. Make the call. What's the number, Naima?
They can call us at 312-849-3456. 312-849-FILM if you got one of them phones that got the numbers on it. 312-849-3456.
312-849-FILM. How much more simple could it be than that? So you need to advertise on the Female Solution and the Higher Learning Network TV show, which airs Tuesdays at 6, Wednesdays at 1 on Channel 19. And the Female Solution airs
7 days a week.
7 days a week, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. But on Saturday,
12 to 2 Central. And
yes.
Sundays, 7 to 9 Central. Yes.
Who's on this Saturday, Naima?
And this is the second Saturday we will have Mama Joy. Yes, the neighborship of joy. So tune on in.
And tomorrow we will have.
Tomorrow's Tuesday, which is self-care with Jody Susan. Yes.
And on Wednesday?
And Wednesday, we have Naima Latif and co-host Kareem Hamid. And tune on in. And Thursday, we got Soulful Solutions with Dr. Debbie Green. And of course, Friday, we got Health and Wellbeing with Beata. Yes, quite a lineup.
And on Sunday,
we got Soul Purpose Healing with Beata. See, we got a lot of soul in this house.
Nothing but some soul.
That's right. And we start all over again on Monday with Monday Morning Mindfulness with Zelda Speaks.
And speaking of Monday Morning Mindfulness, Deborah made a comment earlier on the T-shirts that I didn't get to, that I didn't bring them back up for the make your own label. Yeah, because you are wearing
other people's names
and other people's messages. We did that in high school. We put our name on our butt, on our blue jeans. We did that. Well, it's time for you to do that too. And she also says, remember when we used to tie-dye shirts and pants? Yeah, I remember all of that. And for those of you who don't know about that, all I can say is that you missed an experience. But it's not too late, because you can always make your own experience. And this experience that I'm sharing today is for that of the fundraiser that we're always doing for the homeless, to help get them heaters, water, generators, all that good stuff. Inhale faith, exhale fear, inhale wealth, exhale debt. And this is what it looks like on the back. But you can go to our website, higherlearningnetwork.org, and you will see all of the information there on how to order those T-shirts. And if you want to continue to be a part of the Female Solution, please join us tomorrow morning, 7 until 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. Oh, and I forgot about this, the Global Virtual Teen Talent Contest. Yes. How could I forget that?
Yes.
Every last Saturday of the month. So Saturday, July 29th from 12 noon until 2 p.m. 1 p.m. Will actually be 2, because we'll still be on the Female Solution. Mm-hmm. If you have children 13 to 19, please send them to HLN TV show. Have them send a 1-minute demo, I should say, to HLN TV show, where they can be entered into the contest to win scholarships, prizes, and all that other good stuff. And just let me share with you a quick promo for the Higher Learning Network Global Virtual Teen Talent Contest.
Hey there, talented teens. Are you ready to showcase your skills and potentially win cash prizes and scholarships? We're excited to announce our Global Virtual Teen Talent Contest, where you can enter by submitting a 1-minute video of your unique talent. Here's how to participate. 1. Record a 1-minute video of yourself performing your talent. 2. Share the video on TikTok. Include the hashtag Global Virtual Teen Talent Contest. 3. Tag 3 friends who also have amazing talents. Submit your video by the deadline. We can't wait to see all of the amazing talents that you have to offer. Remember to be creative and have fun with it. The top talents will be selected by a panel of judges and will be announced shortly after. So don't wait, start filming, and good luck.
And good luck to you too. Naima just left me. Well, thank you so much for joining us. You probably hit the wrong button or had to go. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you. We appreciate the fact that you will share this information with someone, because you know our teens need help, and they can only get the help they need from the elders, and we're the elders. This is the work that we do in order to keep them, on the right track. So I want to thank you so very much for sharing this information this morning and for being a part of a society that is changing the world for the better. So until next time, we will do it all over again. I'd like you to stay on purpose, stay empowered, and stay tuned to your next Monday morning mindfulness. And we will see you right back here tomorrow with Self-Care with Jody Susan. Stay on purpose, stay empowered, stay tuned to more higher learning. And thanks for watching.
The Female Solution Global Radio TV Show invites you to an invigorating conversation with our team of hosts Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Time. Start your week with Monday Morning Mindfulness with Zelda Speaks. Tuesdays, Self-Care with Jody Susan. Wednesdays, Repairing Broken Families with Naima Latif and co-host Kareem Hamid. Thursdays, Soulful Solutions with Dr. Debbie Green. And Fridays, Health and Wellbeing with Beata. Saturdays, tune in 12 noon to 2 p.m. Central Time. First Saturday, Success Strategies with Jana. Second Saturday, Wendy Williams Esquire on relationships. Third Saturday, Move Around with Deborah. And fourth Saturday, Wisdom with Mama D. Join us Sundays, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time for Soul Purpose Healing with Beata. Call in and comment 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak to the host and be a part of the solution.
We love you on Windy City Live. Yes, we do. Tell us, how did all this happen? How did this come about?
Well, I play me. I play Val Warner in Chirac, which is really cool. So when people see this movie, they are literally seeing Val, and I am a reporter in the movie.
We talk about the violence, but what can we do personally?
I think we got to be engaged, and I think engaged in a number of things. In our block, in our home, in our neighborhood, we got to be engaged. We got to fight the issues. We got to fight a government that is abandoned, whole communities on the south and the west side. We got to fight a governor who's cut out every youth employment program, who's cut out violence prevention programs, who's abandoned our communities and the poor and the vulnerable. And I think we got to reach out to our brothers on the street and love them and respect them and help them, not just demonize them.
I'll just say like this. First of all, give you the history of coming to Chicago and telling my jokes as a young cat. I'm 37 now. I started about almost 15 years ago. Elroy taking me under his wing, letting me do some jokes here and there for the radio stations and all that kind of stuff.
I learned that no matter what you do and how much of a genuine heart you have, and if you're coming from a good place, people are going to criticize if they don't agree with what you're doing.
Yo, what's up? It's your man Tony Schofield from 106.3 Chicago's R&B, and you are watching Men on Higher Learning. Now, I used to hang around with some men that was into some higher learning. It just wasn't that kind of higher learning, but I got myself together now, okay?
What is it that you do in your quiet time, in your meditation time, that allows you to bring us the films that you do?
I sit courtside in Madison Square Garden, world's most famous arena.
And you're watching CTV on the Higher Learning Network.
Grand Rising, and thank you so much for joining me. I'm your host, Zelda Speaks, the stressologist. Any stress in your life? Well, most of us do. Unfortunately, we don't know what to do with that stress, especially as it relates to worry. I was once a worried about everything, and I finally figured it out with some training. Yeah, I've been certified with the American Society of Training and Development, National Speakers Association, and a host of others. But none of those organizations helped me stop worrying. They just gave me validation for the public to see what credentials I have. So the credentials I have now are from life experience, and I've learned how not to worry. And you can learn how not to worry too, because it is indoctrinated in us to worry. We don't have the answers, so we think the worst is going to happen. Well, I got a solution to that, and that is the Worry Workshop. So I'm going to pull that up for you on my blog. Why do you worry when you don't have to? Go to my blog, zeldaspeaks.wordpress.com, and you can sign up right there and find out how you. And remember, sharing is caring. If you care about yourself and your loved ones, help them see their way out of a mess. Give them the gift. It makes a great birthday gift. It makes a great holiday gift. So instead of running to the store getting something that they really might not need, give them a worry-free life. Give them the gift of a worry-free existence. And thanks for sharing. Make it a great day. And thank you so much for hanging in there with me, because I just got some very disturbing news. I cannot believe this. If you're still with me, type in where you're watching from, because in Chicago, somebody has lost their damn mind. Yeah, I said it. I'm going to post it on my blog, zeldaspeaks.wordpress.com. They have made it illegal. Do you hear me? Illegal to feed the hungry. Am I getting ready to go to jail? Only time will tell. Check me out on Instagram today, hln.homeless.project, because I'll be going over there. Wow. Illegal to feed the hungry? What kind of craziness is that? Are you serious? This is the spot. I'm pulling it up on Instagram right now. I don't believe this. I cannot believe this. This can't be true. And I shouldn't be posting it before I can. Excuse me for just a moment. I can't believe this. I cannot believe this. And I hope it's not true, but I'm going to look it up. Somebody just sent it to me. And I got to go look it up. So before I post this, because this is insanity. So this is what you'll see when you go to our Instagram page. It's Instagram.com hln.homeless.project. Lord have mercy. This is the last one I did, but there's some others. So I'm going over there today, and I'm going to give them these pies that Nelson sent me. Andrew Nelson Bay sent me. Dropped off, I should say. And I'm gonna drop them off. And, you know, y'all prayers be with me, because I'm taking them over there. That's all I can say. So, and I'm not gonna put that out there. I'm gonna get my bail money written on. I ain't going to jail. I ain't going to none of that. I'm gonna do what I gotta do, and I hope you'll do what you gotta do, because I think that's gonna be my next topic next month. Tony, did you know somebody just sent me a YouTube video saying that it is now illegal to feed the hungry?
What the hell are you for?
That's what I said. But before I post that kind of information on my blog, zeldaspeaks.wordpress.com, I'm going to go check it out. So y'all watch the blog for later on today. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, I want you to meet them too. Yeah, so we can have a conversation with them, because they don't understand. It's hungry people in this world. And just because you laying back in your millions and trillions, other people need to be fed. I digress. I'm sorry, y'all. Forward to this video, please. Thank you for sharing.